Along with Jim Gordon and Joe Hassel. Chad Hodge speaking just prior to the opening kickoff in this afternoon's American Football League playoff game between the New York Jets and the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's take a look now at the starting lineups on offense for both of these teams. First for Kansas City, the wide receivers will be Frank Pitts, 6'2", 199-pound, 5-year man from Southern University, and Otis Taylor, 6'3", 275 pounds, 215 pounds, a 5-year man from Prairie View College. The left tackle will be Jim Tyrer, 6'6", 270 pounds, a 9-year man from Ohio State. The left guard will be Ed Buddy, 6'5", 260 pounds. In his 7th year of pro football, played in the Big Ten at Michigan State. The center will be E.J. Holub, 6'4", 236 pounds. In his 9th year of pro football from Texas Tech. The right guard will be Mo Moorman, 6'5", 252 pounds, a 2-year man from Texas A&M. The right tackle will be Dave Hill, 6'5", 260 pounds, a 7-year man from Auburn, and the tight end will be Freddie Arbanas, 6'3", 245 pounds, an 8-year man from Michigan State. At quarterback for the Chiefs, Len Dawson, the 13-year veteran from Purdue University. He weighs 190 pounds in stand and even 6 feet tall. And the running backs will be Mike Garrett, 5'9", 190 pounds, a 4-year Grease Lightning speedster from Southern California, and Robert Holmes, 5'9", 220 pounds, in his 2nd year of pro ball from Southern University. For the world champion New York Jets, the wide receivers will be George Sowers, 6'2", 195 pounds, in his 5th year of pro ball from Texas, and Bake Turner, 6'1", 179 pounds, an 8-year man from Texas Tech. The left tackle, Winston Hill, 6'4", 280 pounds, a 7-year man from Texas Southern. The left guard back this week after an absence of 2 weeks because of an ankle injury, Randy Rasmussen, 6'2", 255 pounds, a 3-year man from Kearney State. The center will be John Schmidt, 6'4", 250 pounds, a 6-year man from Hofstra. The right guard, Dave Herman, 6'1", 255 pounds, a 6-year man from Michigan State. The right tackle will be Roger Finney, 6'3", 245 pounds, a rookie from Florida A&M. The tight end, Pete Lamont, 6'3", 230 pounds, in his 4th year of pro ball from Texas. The quarterback will be Joe Namath, 6'2", 195 pounds, from Alabama, in his 5th year with the Jets. And the running back in back of Namath will be Matt Snell and Emerson Boozer. Snell, 6'2", 219 pounds, a 6-year man from Ohio State, and Boozer, 5'11", 207 pounds, a 4-year man from Maryland State. Here at Shea Stadium in New York, Ted Hodge along with Jim Gordon and Joe Hassel. We're standing by to bring you the play-by-play action of this afternoon's American Football League playoff game between the world champions, the New York Jets, and the runner-up team in the Western Division of the league this year, the Kansas City Chiefs. A big cheer went up from the crowd as some of the Jets came out on the field. They're not all, they haven't all come out as yet. And the Jets escort, the Dawn Twirling Girls are forming the escort route through which the Jets will come out on the field. A crowd of about 60,000 and perhaps more, yes, I'm sure more, probably 62,000 as we look out at the overflow, is on hand here for this exhibition game under clear skies, but in very cold weather. The temperature is hovering at the 30-degree mark, and it is going to get colder, the weatherman tells us, as the afternoon wears on. There's a brisk wind blowing, gusting at times as high as 32 miles an hour. So that's the background against which this American Football League playoff game will be held. Tomorrow, of course, there'll be another playoff game matching the winners of the Western Division, the Oakland Raiders, against the runner-up team in the East, the Houston Oilers. And as we talk to you, some of the Kansas City Chiefs are coming out on the field. They're being introduced now, as a matter of fact. Each one of them, as he comes on the field and over to the Kansas City bench, which is on the near side of the field directly below us, is greeted with a handshake from head coach Hank Strand. So very shortly we'll have kickoff here at Shea Stadium as these two teams who have met once before this season at this same stadium. A few weeks ago, Kansas City came on here to play the Jets and defeated New York by a score of 34-16. It may or may not be significant that you have to go back to 1965 before you find the Jets losing by as many as 18 points as they did in that game. The Jets also lost. The other losses this year were to Oakland, Denver, and San Diego. So the Jets won 10 and lost 4 in winning the Eastern Division title for the second consecutive season. And this afternoon, of course, they start what they hope will be the first step up the ladder to regaining and retaining, rather, their world championship in what they hope will wind up in an appearance in the Super Bowl in New Orleans on January 11th. The winner of this game will stand by until January 4th, when the American Football League championship game will be played against the winner of tomorrow's game between Oakland and Houston, and then the following week, January 11th, to go to New Orleans to play the winner of the playoff system in the National Football League. As we speak to you, the introductions of the Jets players being made, and huge cheers go up, and of course the biggest cheer of all, usually, and this today will be no exception, is for the Jets outstanding quarterback, Joe Namath. All the Jets are out on the field now, and very shortly we're going to have the meeting in the center of the field among Al Atkinson representing the defense, and Joe Namath, captain of the offense for the Jets, and their counterparts for the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's going to be coming up very shortly as the wind is carrying a whole flock of balloons which have been released here at Shea Stadium, up, and away. The officials for today's game, the referee is Jack Reeder, the umpire is Al Conway, headlinesman Al Sabato, line judge John Steffen, back judge Hunter Jackson, the field judge is Bob Wertman. Kansas City has won the toss and has elected to receive, and the Jets will be defending the goal to your left as you look at your radio dial. Kansas City, as it receives, will be moving from the right to the left as you look at your radio, and the Jets will be kicking off from the left. Jim Turner will be placing the ball on the 40-yard line right after our national anthem, and we'll have action in this first playoff game in the American Football League between the Jets and the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs wearing those very, very colorful, bright red blanket type of capes, and they need them today down on the field directly below us, while across the way are the New York Jets, dressed, of course, in their green jerseys with the white numerals and white pants and white and green helmets. Very shortly, Dr. Robert Baird will lead this crowd of over 60,000 in the singing of our national anthem. Dr. Baird is down on the field right now, as a matter of fact. And we'll have kickoff action coming up very, very shortly in this game between Kansas City and New York. Cold day here at Shea Stadium. The temperature is about 30 degrees, but the wind, remember, is gusting at 13 to 32 miles an hour, and as Dick Lynch, who was our pregame guest, told you, this could have a very, very determining factor on the outcome of the game. Now the Kansas City Chiefs are going to receive the kickoff. Are moving out onto the field. And the Jets have come out to go to kickoff formation. The Jets are gathered around in a huddle on between the 35 and 40-yard line. Now they're breaking out of that. Kansas City has its front wall up on the 40. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. More than 60,000 fans standing at attention and joining the singing of our national anthem, led by Dr. Robert Baird. Musical accompaniment by the Westchester State Teachers College Band from Pennsylvania, down in the Philadelphia area. Jim Turner, who for the second consecutive year is the leading scorer in the American Football League on the regular season, places the ball on the 40-yard line for the New York Jets. Deep man for Kansas City, Robert Holmes. And I believe Ed Portalack is also back there. Here comes Turner forward. He boots the ball. The game is underway, and here's Jim Gordon. Going down to Hayes at the 5. Hayes up to the 10. He's cutting to the 15 and going to his right to the 20. Across the 20 to the 25, throwing his feet to the 30-yard line, and banged down finally at about the 33. Wendell Hayes and Robert Holmes, a bit of a surprise to us as the men set to run back for kickoff. So Kansas City will take over the ball for the first time this afternoon with 14 minutes and 48 seconds to go on the 33-yard line.
He was looking to open up an alley on the right side, Jim, and possibly go all the way Abe Woodson used to do it for the San Francisco 49ers, but the Jets moved over to the left side and plugged that alley.
This is the team that operates out of that multiplicity of offensive formations. Out of the eye now, pitch out to the right side to Garrett to the 35-yard line, working his way toward the 40, and a stop short of the 40-yard line by Johnny Elliott, number 80 of New York. Kansas City will line up in that I formation directly behind center, runs almost everything out of that formation. It is, according to some of the Jets defensive coaches, the type of thing that will bother you only if you let it bother you. It can be solved. For Kansas City, the ball is on the 39. Second down with 4 yards to go on the pickup. Again, the I formation behind Len Dorson. Now the I dissolves. They got 2 wide receivers coming to left side. Tipped on the outside. Otis Taylor, the most dangerous man against the Jets, on the inside on that wide side. Garrett carries the ball across the 40-yard line and has stopped at about the 43. He was looking for the first down and might have it. That is the second straight play that they have run at Jerry Philbin's side of the line, and Joe, I think they're testing that shoulder.
Yes, he's playing with a harness. Incidentally, on the previous play, he came through very quickly, Jim, but the play moved inside of him. About a foot to go, I'd say, Jim.
Just about a foot short of the first down, so it's a third down situation with 1 yard to go showing on the board. The ball is officially on the 42-yard line. Fitz is the wide receiver on the left side. Otis Taylor, wide receiver on the right side. Arbanis, number 84, is the tight end. 2 men set now. They are not operating out of the eye. 2 setbacks directly behind Dawson as he calls the signals. Turns around for a hand. Fakes the hand on to Garrett. He's going to throw to his left side, complete to Holmes. Holmes to the 45-yard line to the 40, to the 35, still on his feet, and banged out of bounds at around the 30-yard line. Billy Barrett's come across the right safety.
Jim, a fine play with some tremendous faking there in the backfield. Everybody was moving as if they had the ball. And the Jets were a little bit sucking on the play. The men going inside. Dawson got off a fine pass. He's a very dangerous man throwing that ball.
And an unusual play. They've got a fairly good front wall. With only a yard to go, the Jets, as Joe pointed out, I think we're looking for just that quick line play. They didn't get it. Instead, they got a big pickup. The ball is now on the New York Jets 28-yard line. First and 10 to go for Kansas City. Once again, Dawson sets 2 men wide this side of the right side. Otis Taylor, the outside man. Fitz is on the inside with the 2 men wide on the right side. The rest of the team set up the setbacks in an I formation. A handoff in the backfield. Just the line of scrimmage and stop dead there. Looked like Johnny Elliott coming in to make the stop. Along with Al Atkinson, number 62. Ball is on the 28-yard line now. Second down and still 10 yards to go. No gain for Kansas City. It is a bitterly cold day in New York. The temperature will fool you. It's only around 32, which doesn't sound bad, but the winds are gusting over 30 miles an hour, and it's a tough day down in the field. The field has been frozen for the past 2 days. 2 wide receivers on the right side again. Setbacks dissolve out of the I formation. They got a slot back to the right side now, and the receivers go out very wide to right and left side. He's throwing to his right. It is incomplete. Meant to Holmes. And almost picked up at the 25-yard line by Paul Crane. Robert Holmes had that one bounce off his fingertips.
Taylor Miller was hit pretty good as he left the line of scrimmage on the left side, Jim. By the left defensive man, he was playing right end on the play, and of course the ball was not intended for him. It was for the under receiver. But they're playing him a lot tighter.
So for Kansas City, Joe, it'll be a third down situation and still 10 yards to go. The I formation now. Three men directly behind Len Dawson. He turns around, fakes the handoff. He's still got it. Drops to his 40. He's getting a rush. He's hit. They got him at the 40. Johnny Elling with tremendous pursuit.
Carl McAdams is in there too, Jim. He's done a fine job since he's come back. Incidentally, this is not the best spot, I would say, to kick from because the wind comes from between the stadium and the scoreboard, and it's blowing very briskly in that direction, Jim.
As Dick Lynch pointed out before the game, these two teams are known for their kickers, their field goal men, and this could be one of the toughest days for both teams in that department. Dusting cross wind. Center route is in. He'll be trying one from the 47-yard line. A difficult chance. Up in the air, scaling short. It looks like it is falling short at the goal line. With a score, the Jets nothing and Kansas City nothing. There's time out on the field. More Jet football in just 60 seconds.
There's still time to choose the gift for every man and young man on that Christmas list of yours. Right in the center of downtown Amsterdam, Ray's Clothes features clothing for men that is handsome in appearance and has superior wearing qualities. Easy to wear, easy to care for. The smart collection of suits, sport coats, top coats, and all-weather garments are leaders in the fashion world for men. At Ray's, nationally advertised permanent creased rest-on slacks team up beautifully with shirts and sweaters with equally famous names. Most men like a luxury gift they might never buy themselves. Well, Ray's Clothes has many Christmas suggestions in clothing and accessories. Last-minute shopping will be a breeze when you stop in Ray's Clothes. They planned ahead for the final rush, and you'll still find one of the best selections in town at Ray's Clothes, 85 East Main Street in Amsterdam, open every night till 9 until Christmas.
At Shea Stadium in New York, Jan Stillerud has come on and attempted a 47-yard field goal effort, which fell short of the goal post. It was straight headed for the uprights, but fell short. So the Jets take over, first attempt at their own 20. Start the first offensive play of the day against Jim Gordon. Jake Turner is wide receiver right, throw to the left side, complete the George now at the 35-yard line.
He had a lot of room, Jim. There was nobody within 5 yards of him.
George downed the ball right there. He went down to his knees to make the catch, and with the thundering herd closing in, didn't make another move. It is Jake Turner, then Joe, not Don Maynard. Turner, wide receiver, comes out wide on the right side. Sauer wide to the left. Namath is looking over the middle. It is complete to Lyman. Lyman turned to the 45-yard line, but he's hit by three men and slammed down hard by Johnny Robinson. Lyman's really put down into the ground, and the fans get on Kansas City a bit. That's the kind of a game it's going to be.
Over the middle, Jim, that's a vulnerable area in many teams, and Kansas City may be no exception to that.
Two plays then from the 20-yard line. The New York Jets have the ball on their own 44. First down and 10 yards to go. We're in the first quarter. There is no score. And the fans really haven't stopped yelling since they started. Two wide receivers right side, single wide receiver to the left in New York. Unusual formation with Emerson Boozer going to in motion to his left side. Hand off now to Snell across the 50 to the 45 where he stopped. Matt Snell with a fine plunge through the middle. Bobby Bell made the stop coming in from left linebacker.
Fine trap play, Jim. Real fine one. Dave Herman was so elated about the part that he played in it that when he went back, he was dancing on his toes, keeping his hands high in the air, because they're mixing up their plays now. One thing the Jets know is that Dawson is a very bad catch-up quarterback. For some reason, this is a phobia with him, and the Jets want to get out in front as quickly as they can.
First down. They just get out with the chains and measure for the first. So for Matt Snell, he was looking for 10 yards, and he got 10. Plus just enough. 47, the ball on the 47-yard line. First and 10 to go of New York. The first time the Jets have been in Kansas City territory. Again, two wide receivers to the right side. Sauer is the inside man. Big Turner is the outside man on the right side. Boozer goes in motion to his left side. A hand off to Snell. He tries the middle of the line. Picks up perhaps 2 yards when they clog it up and drop him. Force back, actually, never off his feet.
Buck Buchanan got him. He's just all league, Jim. He's all NFL and a real fine lineman. Buchanan made the All-Star team. I don't know how many times in a row that's been, but he is fine. He's big, Jim.
That's going to be one of the big battles of the afternoon. Buchanan against Matt Snell. It is a pickup, 3 yards, second down and 7 yards to go for New York. Once again, Namath is looking to throw to his right side. It is complete to Lammons. Lammons up to the 30-yard line. Tries to cut it. He breaks one tackle there. Drops back, though, to the 35 and is down at about the 33-yard line. Pete Lammons, and Namath hasn't missed yet.
He hit Willie Lanier, knocked him completely down, Jim, to break the tackle. Lanier is a heavy man. He calls defensive signals. He's a good one. One of the best in the business. His only trouble is he has a tendency to get very heavy, and he needed all the weight he could muster that time and did not stop the ball carrier.
Ball is on the 34-yard line. First and 10 to go again for New York. In a spectacular march so far. They're inside Kansas City territory. His name is looks to his left side. Again, Emerson Boozer goes in motion to the left side with 2 wide receivers right. The handoff to Snell. Snell through the center of the line and picks up about 3 yards where he's finally driven back. But again, is still on his feet. Buck Buchanan, 86. So far, Joe Namath has not made a bad call. Every move of the Jets has been able to pick up yardage for them. In the air, he's 3 for 3. The ball is on the 31-yard line. Second down and 7 yards to go on the 3-yard pickup by Matt Snell. Namath drops back. He's looking to his left side. He's throwing to the release man. It is closer to the 25-yard line. Drives to the 20 and finally goes down to the 20 with a tremendous effort.
Tremendous individual effort, Jim. He was hit twice before he finally was brought down, and he's made it a first down on the 20-yard line. Real fine safety valve play, and Emerson took full advantage of it.
It is early in this football game, and 7:43 to go in the first quarter. But the Jets haven't looked this good on their home turf all year long. The ball is on the 20. First and 10 to go, New York. Again, 2 wide receivers to the right side. Single wide on the left. The handoff to Snell or Boozer. Boozer goes through, picks up 3 and is rammed back behind the line of scrimmage. Buck Buchanan again. The New York Jets, even with this tough win today, within good field goal range on their first drive downfield, had the ball on the 18-yard line with a pickup of 2 yards by Matt Snell. No score, 7 minutes and 6 seconds to go. Jets taking plenty of time in this huddle now. Break the huddle. Again on the outside, on the right side, Big Turner. Inside him is George Sauer working on the double flanker. Nobody wide on the left side this time. 2 setbacks behind Joe Namath. Turns around, fakes the handoff. Now drops back. He's getting a rush. They put him down. Hit behind the line of scrimmage by Bobby Bell for a big loss. And the first time this afternoon, ball be close to the ground, I think, Joe.
I think it was a broken play, Jim. He seemed to spin around and was looking for somebody to hand to. Boozer was standing there. He did touch Boozer as he spun with the ball. Snell apparently drove ahead, but there must have been a mix-up. I'm assuming it was a broken play.
Namath, as he went back, lost his footing and was put down in his tracks. He was actually wisely going into the storm cellar with the team after him. That is the first loss of the afternoon then on the offense for New York. The ball is on the 28, third down with 18 yards to go now. Pete Lammons is the tight end on the right side. Single receiver wide on the left is George Sauer. Big Turner on the right. The setbacks on either side of Joe Namath. Boozer on his left, Matt Snell on his right. Turns around, hands to Boozer, lashes through tackle, gets across almost to the 20-yard line. First hit from behind by Aaron Brown and Bobby Bell.
Rick Lynch points out that Bobby Bell was on a blitz on the previous play, Jim, and that was what summed it up. And Dick Arno, he played defense long enough.
Jim Turner comes in, so the New York Jets within field goal range, despite the tricky and gusting winds this afternoon, are looking to get on the board. Be down on about the 27-yard line. They'll be trying from the 27 from the left side hash mark. One of the Casey men went offside. The ball is not snapped. It is up now by Turner, and it is good. The score, the New York Jets 3 and Kansas City nothing. Now here's a word from Valentine.
Valentine Premium Lager Beer.
Here in New York, Jim Turner has just put the New York Jets on the scoreboard 3-0 over Kansas City with 5.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Now Turner kicks off as Hayes and Holmes are deep. Again, Jim Gordon. It is coming down short and about to Holmes at the 10, up to the 15, up to the 20-yard line. Goes into center field, across the 25, breaks one tackle, still on his feet at the 25. Hit from behind by Big Turner, who drops him at the 30-yard line. Just short of the 30. Tough runner, Holmes. He's just 5'9", but goes 220 pounds, and he's very tough to get a hold of. So for Kansas City, trailing by a score of 3-0, it'll be 1st and 10 to go on their own 28-yard line. Randy Beverly is the quarterback for New York on the right side, Cornell Gordon on the left. Out of the I formation, they dissolve and send 2 men out wide to the right side with 2 setbacks behind Len Dawson. Dawson drops back to the 20. He's getting a rush, throws to his right side, complete to the right side of Taylor, who goes down at the 40-yard line. Cornell Gordon was covering his man, and I believe it was Otis Taylor got between Gordon and the thrower, Len Dawson, who almost got hit as he got the ball off. That'll be a first down for Kansas City. With the ball now spotted on the 41-yard line. New York Jets 3 and Kansas City nothing first quarter. It's going to take capacity out of the Shea Stadium, but I'm not sure what capacity is, Joe. They haven't really reached it. They keep improving on it.
I would assume we've got a new AFL record again for attendance, Jim.
There's that I formation again with 3 men set directly behind him. It dissolves. 2 receivers go out, 1 wide on the right side, 1 on the left, 2 setbacks on either side of Dawson. Now he drops back to the 35 and throws complete to the left side of the 50-yard line, crosses the 50, and is hit by Billy Baird, number 46, coming in from right safety.
Bill Albanis made the catch, Jim. This is a quick break. Dawson got the ball almost released it as quick as he got it, which shows that he's showing respect for the drive which the Jets are putting on.
He has got, of course, to a lesser extent, the same problem that plagues Joe Namath, knee problems. And he doesn't want to get hit even one time if he can avoid it.
He's taken Paul Crane out, and he's got 5 defensive backs in there, something which he's been doing when the opposition throws the ball.
Albanis is the tight end on the right side this time. Sits wide on the left side. Otis Taylor, wide receiver, right side. Dawson is looking over the middle. He's dropping way back, getting a rush. He throws to his relief man on the right side across the 50 to 45 to the 40 to the 35. He's across the 35 to the 30-yard line. And Hayes is hit as he goes down on the right side of the field by Billy Baird.
Good screen, Jim. They blocked Ralph Baker out of there, which gave running room to the ball carrier. They're down around the 30.
Good move by Kansas City. It's now 1st and 10 to go with the ball down on the New York Jets 29-yard line. $17 yards on the play. Dawson to Wendell Hayes. Dawson calls the signal. Scoops out to the right side to Garrett. Garrett up to the 30-yard line is practicing the 30-yard line. The line is scrimmage.
Been made to stop. He's playing with that harness. You'd never know it, Jim. He's got good speed breaking in there, and he hung on to the ball carrier. Garrett, very deceptive, very fine, elusive runner, fast, quick, good move.
Second down situation coming up for Kansas City. The score is New York Jets 3 and Kansas City nothing with 2 minutes and 21 seconds to go in a very fast-moving first quarter. This is just the second time that Kansas City has had the ball. They won the toss and elected to receive. The Jets called their drive. 47-yard field goal attempt into the wind failed for them. Jim Turner scored for New York. Once again now, Dawson splits his backs on either side. 2 setbacks there. Drops back. He's looking over the middle now. Looks up and hits his man just across the 25-yard line. Hit there, breaks the tackle, back on his feet again to the 15, and Hayes picks up 2 more across the 15-yard line. Larry Grantham and Jim Carroll had shots at him. And they couldn't hang on with Hayes making good moves on both of those tackles. 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Jets working again with a 4 linebacker setup against Len Dawson. Randy Beverly is back in at cornerback this afternoon for New York on the right side. Cornell Gordon is guarding the left side. Richards and Baird are the safeties. I formation directly behind Len Dawson. It breaks now on the count. And set with 2 setbacks, 1 on either side. Wide receivers also right and left side. Dawson hands off now. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage or just about on it as Ralph Baker cracks across and diagnoses the players that come through tackles. 1 minute and 5 seconds to go in the quarter. The clock continues to run. For Kansas City then, John Centerud is always a dangerous man. He'll be ready unless they can move the ball here. They've still got another chance. Second and 10 to go, Chief. Hand off to Hayes. Hayes cracks across the 10, picked up perhaps 2 more yards. He's hit from behind and dropped there. Ralph Baker makes the stop of Wendell Hayes. 29 seconds to go in the quarter. Ball will be spotted, Joe, on the left side hash mark as the play gets underway.
He's moved his team very well, Jim. Dick Lynch points out that Grantham is covering over for Randy Beverly, and of course this weaken's the Jet pass defense. It'll be interesting to see if he goes in that area again.
Ball is on the 10, third down and 6 yards to go. Dawson is set. Hands off, takes the hand off, he's being rushed, he throws complete behind the line of scrimmage, and he's dropped down there. Pitch on the left side. Pitch number 25 is stopped, called by Paul Crane with time running out in the quarter. The score, the New York Jets 3, Kansas City nothing. More Jet football after the message from Score.
Score presents the 4 Jets. I'm Big Turner, and we're the 4 Jets. Mr. Jim Turner, Country Don Maynard, Brother Matt Snell, Hey man, I don't get my hair with any messy grease and silicone. That's on the right, on the right, on the right. Well, I used to play the grease bowl, but I was just a kid, too dumb to see. Score's the only one for me. Mix it with a little water, and your hair holds like it oughta. Oh, baby, that's the score. That's the score. That's the score. Like the coach says, score if you're gonna play.
Here at Chase Stadium in New York, we move into the second quarter of play. Kansas City has the ball at the New York Jets 16-yard line. 4th down and 10 yards to go. And as play is resumed, we can expect, presumably, Jan Centerud coming in. Yes, he's on the field now, standing at the 24-yard line. Here to tell you about it, Jim Gordon. There's the snap. The ball on the 24. It is up by Centerud, and it is good. With the score, the New York Jets 3 and Kansas City Chiefs 3. There's time out of the field for Jets football in just 60 seconds.
Look, Ted, the Kellys in the parade with their new car.
Yeah, Mavis, I see.
What is it? Sure looks expensive. One of those big, fancy European cars, I'll bet.
Mavis, that's an American Motors Ambassador SST. No more expensive than a lot of Fords or Chevys.
If I know Marianne Kelly, I'll bet they chinced on the extras to get a car that looks like that.
That Ambassador has air conditioning, individually adjustable reclining seats.
How do you know so much about the Kellys' Ambassador?
Air conditioning is standard equipment, not an option on all new Ambassadors.
Ted, you know, we really could use a new car. Could we?
Mavis, I've already ordered our new Ambassador.
Wait till I see Marianne Kelly.
See Haybrick American Motors having the most exciting auto show in town. Whatever you want in a car, they have it ready for immediate delivery. Haybrick American Motors, 16 Green Street, Amsterdam.
Off for George Knox, the rookie, and Mike Battle, another rookie. So 2 youngsters back there for the New York Jets. Deep as Centerud places the ball on the 40-yard line and is about to kick off to the New York Jets. before over 62,000 here at Shea Stadium in this AFL Playoff Game. Chandler Root about to come forward. The ball blew off the kicking tee. Winds of up to 32 miles an hour and some gusts here at Shea Stadium. But the sun is shining, and we have a tie ball game, 3-3. All right, there's the whistle. Chandler Root comes forward. So meets ball. Ball is in the air, and again, here is Jim Gorst.
Coming down to knock at the 5. He's got Battle in front to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. Cuts the midfield to the 25, to the 30. He breaks loose there to the 35-yard line. Still on his feet. Picks up 2 more yards, and it finally drops at the 38-yard line. Tremendous run back by George Hahn.
Great individual effort, Jim. He's husky, bulky, and he can really move, and he did.
It is a tie game, 3-3. The New York Jets has the ball on their 37. Name of the back throwing left side to Boozer. Drops the ball at the 35. Emerson was turning before he had his hand on it.
Joe is getting very fine protection, Jim. They're keeping everybody out, giving him plenty of time to throw. We just as Boozer turned, as you pointed out, dropped the ball. Turned going away.
So I think that's the first incompletion he's had. He had to eat the ball one time. I think that's the first one we've had.
Yeah.
14 minutes and 27 seconds remaining in the first half. The score is tied 3-3. The New York Jets and the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs here, the first round. Namath drops back to the 30. He is looking to his left side. He throws a bullet. It is incomplete. That's on the left side to George Shaw, but he threw it out of bounds. George was tightly covered inside. His only chance was to lean across, and it was just too far away from it. So the ball remains on the 37, third down, and still 10 to go for New York. Contrast here with the way they opened up in the first quarter, the first time they got their hands on the ball, with Namath moving them like the perfect general. Almost no sunshine left on the field now. It is cold. Temperature hovering around the freezing mark, with gusting winds as high as 30 miles an hour. Drake Turner goes wide to the right side. George Sauer is wide on the left side. Snell set to the right side. They're getting good pass protection now for Namath. He is throwing over the middle. It is deflected and almost intercepted. Not quite. It was meant for Emerson Boozer, cutting in from the left side behind the line of scrimmage. So we'll have a punting situation for the first time this afternoon. Steve O'Neill comes in. He'll be kicking it from the left side hash mark. And will be kicking the ball from about his own 26-yard line. Garrett and Mitchell on the deep end for Kansas City. O'Neill lifts it from his 27. Hits up beauty, carrying way downfield. Down to the 15, and Jimmy Jones is chasing his man there. He hits him from behind, throws him down, and he's clobbered at the 12-yard line. Kansas City will be putting the ball in play from that point on the 12-yard line. Say, here's a great idea for you Jets fans. The weekend in New York during the holiday season. To make certain it's a fun-packed weekend, make your headquarters at one of Lowe's 8 great New York hotels or motor inns. Stay at the skyscraping Americana and visit the star-studded Royal Box Supper Club, or swing at the Summit on the east side where you can dance away the night in the Gaucho Room. The city's Flyer and Lowe's Midtown Motor Inn are in the heart of the theater district. Take your pick. The Warwick, the Drake, the Summit, the Americana, they're all Lowe's. Each is different, and each of them is made just for you. For reservations, see your travel agent or check the yellow pages for your local Lowe's reservation office. See you in New York. Here at Shea Stadium with 14 minutes to play in the first half of the ball game. The score is tied. The New York Jets 3 and the Kansas City Chiefs 3 as Jim Turner put the Jets on the scoreboard in the first quarter with a 27-yard field goal. Jan Stenerud on the first play of the second quarter put the Chiefs on the scoreboard with a 23-yard field goal, and that makes it what the score is at the moment, 3-3, with Kansas City having just taken the punt from Steve O'Neill on its own 14-yard line. The Chiefs will be putting it in play first and 10 from that point when play is resumed very shortly here at Shea Stadium. The cold weather we've been telling you about hasn't chilled the ardor or the attendance of more than 62,000 on hand. All right, Len Dawson brings the Chiefs out of the huddle here to tell you about it. The network voice of the New York Jets, Jim Gorst. Once again, Kansas City breaks the iron, sends 2 setbacks behind Len Dawson. It turns for a handoff. It goes to Wendell Hayes. Hayes across the 25 and is down there. Larry Grantham makes the stop. Looks like Garrett now working out of the backfield, too. We'll try to pick him up for you there at the far end of the field right now. And had a message on the press box communication system a few moments ago. It sounded like they said Robert Holmes had to be taken out of the game. He suddenly became sick to his stomach. It is Garrett working the backfield now with Wendell Hayes. Pick up a 4 yards by Wendell Hayes that time. Dawson hands off for a center play right across the 20-yard line. It went to Mike Garrett. Ralph Baker makes the stop. Wendell Hayes carried the ball, not Mike Garrett. The score side here, 3-3, 13 minutes and 16 seconds to go in the first half. Third down with 7 yards to go now. Third, and I beg your pardon, it'll be 3rd and 3 on the pickup, 3rd and 3. Ball was on the 21-yard line. Garrett working in the backfield now with Wendell Hayes. They've got Otis Keller wide on the right side. The eye dissolves. They send Frank Tipped out wide on the left side. Once again, Dawson drops back. He's getting pass protection. He's being chased. He throws. It is complete to the 30-yard line. He stays on his feet and gets across the 35, the 25 rather, almost to the 30 when he's stopped by Ralph Baker. Joe, I thought they were going to get to Len Dawson that time. It was a tremendous rush on him, but he eluded it and got off one. It was a good one, as a matter of fact.
He had jets coming from each side and through between them, Jim. It was a very fine individual effort. He ended up down around the goal line. That's how far he retreated to finally get rid of the ball. It was a good catch, too, Jim. It was caught in traffic.
It is a first down play. 1st and 10 to go now on the 28-yard line of the Kansas City Chiefs. The Jets and the Chiefs tied 3-3. Wide receivers left and right side again. Setbacks on either side of Len Dawson. Dawson drops back, getting pass protection now. Now starts to roll to his left and throws a long one for Otis Taylor. It is incomplete. Almost intercepted on the right side by Cornell Gordon, number 48. But when he deflected it, Taylor also had a second shot at it. Joe, I thought he was going to pluck it out of the air.
Got a lot of time to throw that time, Jim. The Jets come in. I think it was Steve Thompson who went high in the air, and then when he came down, was blocked and went down, so that Dawson got additional time in which to throw.
11 minutes and 54 seconds remaining. 11 minutes and 54 seconds remaining. Ball is on the 28-yard line. 2nd down, 10 yards to go for Kansas City in their territory in the first half. Dawson spins for a handoff now. Hayes breaks across the 30, gets up to the 35-yard line, and is tackled as he crosses the 35 by Paul Crane. He's hit from behind. Should be short of the first down by about a yard, perhaps a little bit less. We'll check as he moves the ball out. 3rd and 1 to go will be the situation here in a 3-3 game with Centerwood making the difference for Kansas City coming from behind after Jim Taylor had put the Chiefs on the scoreboard for the first time by a score of 3-0.
Now remember, Jim, that Dawson used with a 3rd and short yardage threw a pass the last time.
Dawson checks his alignment. The eye dissolves. He sends Arbanis out as his tight end on the left side now. Hands off for a line play. There's a flag, the first one of the afternoon down. The Jets could have been offside on the long count as Hayes carried across with enough for a first down, but we'll wait for the official call. Looks like Johnny Elliott anticipating on the left side of the line. It is an offside play against New York, so the ball is moved across the 40-yard line up to about the 43. 1st and 10 to go for Kansas City in a 3-3 ball game with 11 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the first half. Wind seems to have died down a little bit, but it's still not a very pleasant afternoon for football at that hard field. At least it was dry. Dawson breaks up his eyes. He calls the signal now. Looks to his left side. He's looking to his left as he drops back. Still looking. He throws deep to the left side. It is incomplete. Arbanis, the tight end, had his hands on it. Couldn't hang on. He was covered very tightly by Billy Baird, number 46, and it looks like Baird might even be able to take it away from him.
I thought he had it for a moment, Jim. Incidentally, Baird, Grantham on the right side are double teaming, and they're also double teaming Taylor. So the Jets are playing them very tight.
Ball is on the 43. Second down, still 10 yards to go for Kansas City. The clock stop was 10 minutes and 56 seconds to go in the second quarter. Boston breaks the huddle now. He's got Garrett working in the backfield with Wendell Hayes. Wide receiver on the right side is Otis Taylor. Left side is Frank Fitz. Tight end is Fred Arbanis working to the left side. Takes the handoff. Now gives to Garrett, who cracked across the middle of the 50. Still on his feet and hit from behind as he gets to the 45-yard line of the New York Jets by Verlin Biggs.
Good draw play, Jim. He had a fine hole there, and Garrett came wheeling through. Verlin Biggs had to come over from his right side to make the stop.
Garrett a little bit slow getting up from his spot. He was hit from behind by Verlin Biggs, and any tackle today is going to shake you up a little bit. That field is hard.
Paul Crane goes out. They put on another fifth defensive back. They anticipate that he'll probably go to the air at this stage.
Richardson, Cornell Gordon, and Randy Beverly working in the backfield. Cornell Gordon, the right cornerback, the left cornerback. On the play now, Dawson's looking to throw deep to the right side to the 10-yard line. It is incomplete to the 5 with good coverage all the way down by Cornell Gordon. And as they turn around and take their positions again, Taylor, who's looking for the pass, reached out and patted Gordon as much as to say nice coverage.
You notice Gordon was doing a lot of talking to Taylor as they were coming downfield, too. He has a reputation for that, chatters all the time, talks to them, and kind of tries to upset their concentration.
Matter of fact, in Miami, I know that when Jimmy Hines almost had one last time, purely on speed all the way back, and for the rest of the afternoon, every time Gordon saw him, he said, call him Boost. He kept calling him Boost. They had a little trouble Boost, and he said one time, thought Hines was going to swing on it. Is on the 35-yard line. Second down with 10 yards to go. The I formation again by Len Dawson. It breaks up. Arbanis takes position as a tight end on the left side. 2 setbacks now. Either side of Dawson. He drops back to the 45. He's getting a rush. He goes deep to the left side. And that's for Arbanis. It is knocked down by New York. Beautiful double coverage on the right side. Beautiful double coverage on the left side with Randy Beverly teaming up, I believe, with Billy Baird.
The disturbing part about the game where it's being played now is at the closed end of the stadium so that the wind does not affect the kicking. The 2 field goals have been kicked down here, and incidentally the Kansas City one was kicked after the quarter had ended so that Kansas City had the advantage of kicking in the protected end of the stadium.
Boston's unloading here for long gain attempt. He's got a 3rd and 10 situation now, the ball on the 45-yard line. So he needs the big 10. Despite the fact that they've got a fine field goal kicker, and as Joe says, they're in the protected end of the stadium, it is still a tricky day out here for the field goal attempt. Setbacks on either side of Len Dawson. Wide receivers left and right side. He drops back. He's looking to throw. He's getting a rush. He's still being rushed. There's a flag on the play. He is hit as he unloads. It is touchdown. Incomplete on the left side. Paul Crane reached up and batted that one away. Let's see what the flag is all about.
Jim, I can tell you this. Verlin Biggs, is this man strong? He took the man blocking him and pushed him right back into Dawson. Dawson shot over to the right side to get away, and Silvan was there. He unloaded at that point. But Verlin Biggs has got to be tremendously strong.
Good work by Paul Crane that time of breaking up the interception, but for Crane, the man would have been loose. The penalty is declined. A holding penalty against Kansas City and has been declined.
And the man they were holding was Silvan.
No easy job. Somehow you couldn't get a penalty.
Well, it shows you how valuable he is even with that harness on, Jim. Great determination, great desire.
9 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the first half. Centerroot is going to have a tough one again. They're going to be punted. They're not even going to try the field goal. They're going to punt this one. He's too far back. He's kicking the ball from about the 45-yard line. Lifted there. It's a low spinning kick, a big bounce coming down to the 10-yard line. Battle takes it there. He's surrounded. He's just across the 10, and they're picking him apart, driving him back across the 10. Lifted score, the New York Jets 3 and Kansas City 3. Now here's a word from Valentine. Well, now that there's a break in the action, why not make the most of it by getting yourself an ice cold Valentine beer? You know, nothing goes better when you're listening to Jets action, and nothing refreshes better after you've been working up a giant-sized thirst. Valentine's smooth taste is brewed to satisfy, to get right down to the heart of your thirst. It's not called the crisp refresher for nothing. 130 years of brewing experience goes into every Valentine. Brewed crystally clear, smooth and delicious, and aged to make it precisely right. That's Valentine, and every label tells the whole story, with 3 rings that stand for purity, body, and flavor. Nothing tastes as good as an ice-cold Valentine. So, take it from me. Hey, get your cold beer. Make the 3 ring sign, and ask the man for Valentine Premium Lager Beer. The crisp refresher. 9 minutes and 39 seconds to play in the first half of the game here at Ice Cold Chase Stadium. With a score, the Kansas City Chiefs 3, the New York Jets 3. The Jets got their 3 on a 27-yard field goal by Jim Turner in the first quarter, and Kansas City got their 3 on a 23-yard kick by Jan Schelleroon in the second. Right now, the Jets are going to put the ball in play first and 10 from their own 10-yard line. They come out of the huddle here to tell you about it again with that great voice of the New York Jets, Jim Thornton.
Thank you, Ted. The New York Jets will put the ball in the play now. As Joe Namath calling the signals, he has looked very good this afternoon. Boozer in motion to the right, the handoff to Snell. Matt just picked up about 2 yards as he crossed the line of scrimmage and is hit by the right side of the line. Jerry Mays, coming in from the left side, makes the stop on Matt Snell. One of the Chiefs looks like Curly Culp was shaken up a little bit, number 61, limping back to his position.
He's a former NCAA wrestling champ, Jim. He's very agile, very quick, and it's reflected in his line play, and of course you can attribute that to his wrestling experience.
Well, the New York Jets, the ball is on their 11, second down and 9 yards to go, so a pickup of just 1 yard for Matt Snell. 2 receivers wide to the left side for New York. Boozer in motion to the right side. Namath is looking left, fires across the line, it is incomplete. He has been having trouble this afternoon with George Starr. He has not been close to George on any one of the 3 attempts that I can remember, Joe.
They are playing Big Turner, who was on the same side as George Starr, very tight. Of course, he's got to be careful at this stage of the game here. This is a very fine, alert defense, Jim, and this would be a dangerous spot for anybody to pick it off. 3rd down and 9 to go, and he's got to come up with something real good.
Joe Namath, after going for 4 for 4 in his first attempt this afternoon, is now missed on his last 4. It's a most inconsistent afternoon so far. 8 minutes and 55 seconds to go. In the first half, 2 wide receivers on the left side with Starr the outside man, Big Turner is the inside man. Again, Boozer goes in motion to the right side. Namath is looking left. He is throwing left for Big Turner. He again overthrows and throws him to the outside again. And I think, Joe, every one of the passes that have been incomplete have been exactly the same, throwing away from his man.
Jim, incidentally, as he came up to the line of scrimmage that time, he kept his hands kind of in his shirt, so maybe it's that his hands are kind of frozen.
Could very well be. I'm sitting inside a press box and mine are kind of frozen up here. Willie Mitchell, number 22, and Mike Garrett are the deep men now for Kansas City. So the Jets are kicking, forced to kick for the first time from deep within their own territory. O'Neal is back in the end zone. From the goal line, he lifts it high in the air. It's another good one, carrying down toward midfield. No, this one's dropping short into the wind. Drops down short of midfield, rolling to about the 43, 44-yard line. And it's still in Jet territory, and Kansas City gets a break on a bad kick into the wind.
Jim, again, the defense is playing a long time.
The score, the New York Jets 3 and Kansas City 3. Now Samadi is on relaxing, dead hard.
Well, this turns out like most Jets games, you can make a pretty sure bet. The mighty tense moments are coming, so here's the suggestion. After the game, relax with a nice cool can of medicated Ammons powder. Now, before you pitch that idea, just listen. Ammons is not one of those weak-smelling powders that's only for ladies. Ammons is medicated with active ingredients that can help a man's skin feel good, too. For example, if you find yourself sweating out a tense moment in the game, remember this. Ammons has cornstarch to help soak up the moisture. Medicated Ammons powder also contains a soothing skin lubricant. That's in case the game rubs you the wrong way or gets you hot under the collar. And If a bad play gives your skin a crawly feeling, remember this. Ammons has germ fighters to combat skin bacteria. Medicated Ammons powder. Relax with a cool can of it right after the game. So here at Shea Stadium, the Kansas City Chiefs have picked up a break of sorts as Steve O'Neill, punting for the Jets from the end zone, got off a short one, and it landed on the Jets' 43-yard line. So Kansas City puts the ball in play first and 10 in Jets territory. From that point, the score tied 3-3, and we have 8 minutes and 39 seconds to play in the first half of the game. All right, Len Dawson brings him out of the huddle up to the ball. Again, here to tell you about it. Jets 43, Kansas City first and 10. Here's Jim Gordon.
The setback to Wendell Hayes and Mike Garrett. Hayes, number 38, comes to the right side now, just behind the end. Pitch out goes to Garrett, who cuts around the right side, and is hit immediately as he turns the corner on the right. But taken down by Cornell Gordon with a gain of perhaps 3 or 4 yards. Ralph Baker helped make the stop. 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Second down and 6 yards to go for Kansas City.
Got to admit, Jim, he has a fine diversified attack. His passing, his running, his draws, his screens, just well executed.
That cold could very well be the factor, Joe, as you point out. I see that Len Dawson has also missed his last 5 passes at. So perhaps to give it a reason a little bit. Looks like an offside as the play cuts across middle for a pickup of about 4 yards, but there were flags all over the place, I think, on the Kansas City side.
Right tackle, I think, was offside. Number 73, Jim Dayville, I believe he was offside.
7 minutes and 56 seconds to go in the first half in a 3-3 game. Jets scored in the first quarter, Kansas City in the second. Ball is moved back again.
Paul Crane goes out. He brings in that 5th defensive back, Jim. With 2nd and 6 to go, he's anticipating that he'll probably throw it to 2nd and 11.
2nd and 11 now because of the penalty. They just lost the 5. It'll be on the 43-yard line. Second down with 11 yards to go. The I formation breaks once again. 2 setbacks either side of Len Dawson. Single receiver wide to the left side. Dawson turns around, takes the head up to Hayes to Garrett on a beautiful draw. Cracks across the middle. Picks up about 10 yards and is rammed back as he gets to the 35-yard line. Now Atkinson made the stop in the middle, and Garrett really got himself a fine jump and a wide open hole in the middle of the line.
As we said, he's called a fine ball game. This is a well-coached team. You know, Strand insists, Jim, that he's rebuilding. He has only 4 starters from his 1967 Super Bowl team. He's a fine trader, a good drafter, and a good coach.
He's short of the first down. It'll be third down with 3 yards to go for Kansas City. They're deep in Jet territory now. The ball on the 35-yard line. Wide receiver left and right side. 2 setbacks either side of Len Dawson. Dawson turns, hands to Garrett, trying to turn the corner left side, and he did not get to the line of scrimmage. Larry Grantham and Jerry Philbin combining.
What happened, Jim, was that Grantham came in and took the tackle out of the play. Then Philbin came up and made the stop.
Vanderroot will be trying this time. From about the 44-yard line, I think. We'll wait till they line up. Jerry Philbin is given official credit for making that stop. The loss of 4 yards. Ball will be down on the 44-yard line. The 44-yard line. It's a tough one. Vanderroot, one of the very, very best. He's kicking from the left side hash mark. The ball is spotted. It is in the air. Looks short. It is short. And wide to the right. The score, the New York Jets 3 and Kansas City 3 now. Here's a word from Valentine.
Crisp, a beer, the isolate light, smooth and delicious, precisely right, lively, golden, crystally clear, the crisp refresher. Valentine beer. Hey, get your cold beer. Hey, get your Valentine. Hey, get your cold beer. Get your ice cold Valentine beer. The
seconds to go in the first half. We still have a tie ball game. As for the second time in a row, Jan Stederud has missed a field goal attempt, this time from 44 yards out. So it is Jets ball at their own 20-yard line on the touchback. The ball fell into the end zone off to the right of the goalpost. So Namath brings them up to the line of scrimmage. First and 10 for the Jets at their own 20. Score tied 3-3 against Jim Gordon. Two wide receivers left side, a single wide receiver out on the right side. Emerson Boozer goes in motion to his right side. Namath is looking to his left as he's out back to the 10. Now over to the right side. The ball is deflected high in the air and incomplete. Namath was hit and gets up a little bit slowly at the 10-yard line. I was following the ball. I don't know who got to him, but they got to him. He gets up slowly. Out, the Jets have picked up 10 yards in this exchange. Their last series of downs started at the 10 because of the unsuccessful field goal attempt. They are now started from their 20.
Bobby Bell has been covering Boozer on that man in motion towards the right side, Jim, and they may be wanting to work on Boozer. Boozer may suddenly break down that sideline. We'll have to watch.
Emerson Boozer goes out. Billy Mathis comes in with Matt Snell on the right side and Billy Mathis on the left side. Wide receiver singly, left and right side. Namath off back for a handoff to Snell and a drop to this 25-yard line. Still on his feet to about the 27, and he stops. Jim Lynch, number 51, makes the stop there. Snell, so far this afternoon, has been having a good day for himself, despite the fact they seem to have been set for him. He's able to break through, Joe.
I think the idea of putting Mathis is that probably a little heavier, that he's more of a blocker than Boozer is.
5 minutes and 48 seconds to go. He has done, it has pointed out, the only running for New York this afternoon. A 3-3 game, Kansas City and the New York Jets. Namath calls the team down. Drops back now to the 20 and throws to the right side. Big Turner, complete to Big Turner at the 35-yard line, and he's run out of bounds there. Jim Marcellus covering, and Big Turner is very heavy traffic with Marcellus loose, who made a fine catch.
A little word there that time, Jim. Of course, all Marcellus had to do was to cut in front of Big Turner. If he had that kind of speed, he could have picked it off and gone about 30, 35 yards to the TD. That's a dangerous play out there into the flat.
There is nobody else between him and the goal line but the passer, who is away across on the other side of the field. Ball is on the 35. It is good, of course, for first down. It's first and 10 to go from the New York Jets 35. Emerson Boozer is back in as a setback on the right side with Joe Namath. Snell is set to the left side. Single receivers wide, left and right. Pete Lammons is the tight end. Back to the 30, looking to his left. It is incomplete to George Sauer, who is hit and knocked out of bounds as he drops the ball. And it's Thomas, number 18, the coverage coming in from the right side, right cornerback.
Namath has completed 1 of 8 of his last 8 passes, Jim. 1 of 8.
Correction on the setback. Joey Mathis is still in. Boozer is still on the sideline with Matt Snell, the second back. Ball 35, second down with still 10 yards to go for New York. Both Namath and Dawson, after excellent starts, are having trouble connecting with their receivers. And I think it just could be the cold. It is a really raw, cold day in New York despite the sunshine. Namath is set. Takes the head off. Now he gives to Mathis. Mathis backs across the left side. Picks up perhaps 2 yards when he's stopped by Buck Buchanan, number 86. Who at 6'7" and 275 pounds is a stopper.
He's got good speed for a big man, Jim. He moves very well. He has good anticipation.
It is 3rd and 8 for New York. They are deep in their own territory. Trying to crack out with 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go as the clock continues to run. The ball is now across the 35. It is officially on the 37-yard line. Big Turner wide on the right side. George Sauer playing inside him, also wide on the right side, with Lammons wide on the left. Now Billy Mathis goes in motion to the left side, leaving Snell back there. Pass protection for Namath. He throws to his right side to Big Turner, and it is incomplete. He almost had it. He had trouble on the field.
He did a great job, Jim. What he did is he ran at a normal speed downfield and then suddenly pushed out on top and had his man beat, but the pass was not there.
Garrett and Mitchell are the deep men. Mike Garrett on the right side looking downfield. Mitchell at the top.
looking down from the left side. O'Neill steps forward, kicks the ball from about the 27-yard line, coming down at the 30. A bounce there to Garrett. Garrett tried to get away from one man, break the tackle, still on his feet, cross the 35-yard line, and is finally down by a host of New York tacklers. The score, the New York Jets 3, Kansas City Chiefs 3. Now, here's a word from Valentine.
Well, what a game this is. The kind of game just really works up a giant thirst. And here's the best way to put that thirst on ice. With a frosty bottle or can of Valentine beer, the crisp refresher. If you've got a real thirst, you just want to relax, pick up a Valentine. A beer that has 130 years of brewing experience behind it. Crystally clear, smooth, and delicious. Aged just long enough to make it precisely right. The result, a beer full of purity, body, and flavor. A beer that really satisfies no matter how long you've been building up your thirst. Valentine beer. Next time, listen to the man singing, "Hey, get your cold beer." Then make the three-ring sign and ask the man for a Valentine. Valentine Premium Lager Beer, the crisp refresher. Back to the action and Jim Gordon.
On a fast opener, Mike Garrett cracks across the middle of the line. Stopped by Larry Grantham, and it might be enough for first down. It is first down for Kansas City. So the ball is now spotted on the 48-yard line of the Kansas City Chiefs in a 3-3 tie game with 2 minutes and 56 seconds remaining in the first half. After a championship playoff game, it is everything everybody talked about. Two evenly matched teams looking for what could be a break and perhaps the only one in the game. Hand off to Wendell Hayes. Hayes up to the 50-yard line, and he is stopped there by ball tray number 56.
Jim, you can understand the evenness of this game when you realize that the Jets have 10 men on the AFL All-East team and Kansas City has 9 on the All-West team. That's an indication that they've got some real fine talent.
There's no doubt that the best team that we have seen against the Jets this year, now there might be better someplace in the league, but the best one we had seen was the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Jets certainly, Joe, are showing much better against them this afternoon than they did the first time around.
Yes.
Kansas City set again now. Len Dawson has wide receivers left and right side. He is looking deep this time. He is throwing over the middle. It is incomplete at the 30-yard line.
Randy Beverly fell down coming up for that one, Jim, or he could have made the interception. Again, I guess the field is just too hard. He's kind of slide on it more than he can step on it.
Jerry Philbin, it took a long time coming out of the Kansas City backfield, so he must have been paying a visit there to Len Dawson.
Dawson was hit just as he released the ball, Jim.
Just 2 minutes to go in the first half. With the score 3-3, Kansas City and New York. Fred Arbanas, number 84, comes out.
Gloucester Richardson went in, Jim, and he played a real fine ball game against the Jets the last time they were here. Big man, big and strong.
Oh, a real dust storm comes swirling across the field now. The field has been frozen all week long, and the players have churned up just a fine layer of dust on top. And a gust of wind just sent Kansas City players away from the field.
Jim, while we have this opportunity, we might look ahead. We have a tie score here, 3-3. We might remind our listeners that the league rules specify that should the game end in a tie, they will play sudden death fifth quarter, you might say. So the game will not end in a tie under any circumstances when the final outcome is known, because should regulation time wind up in a tie, they'll go on and play a sudden death extra period.
Where they're going, Ted, we could be here all afternoon.
I hope half the night.
Ball is on the 49-yard line. Third down, 7 yards to go from Kansas City. And you keep getting the feeling that one big break should decide the game. Both teams in their initial tries this afternoon looked as good as anything we have seen. It has slowed down a little bit with the passers having trouble getting their passes to where they wanted to. It could be the cold weather. Kansas City broke out of their huddle just a little bit prematurely. Apparently the full time hadn't been taken. They dropped back again. We have not seen Robert Holmes since he was popped coming across the middle of the line early in the second quarter or late in the first, so apparently he was injured on the play. Wendell Smith and the Hayes on in the backfield along with Mike Garrett in the setback. Wide receivers left and right side. Back goes Len Dawson looking over the middle. He is throwing deep and it's deflected. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Running over the ball now. Johnny Elliott really cracked across to bring it down. And the New York Jets hold that perhaps the most important point of the entire ball game
for weeks and weeks, these teams drill the 2-minute drill to keep control of that ball. That was a fine effort by Elliott, as you pointed out. He keeps his hands up, Jim, and I like to see that on the line when he expects somebody to throw, and it works.
They cannot make use of Jan Centerud. The ball is simply too far out, so that was a big play with 1:55 to go in the first half. They've got the punt. The ball is kicked from the 40-yard line. It's a beauty, carrying deep downfield. Inside the 10, the Jets are going to let it go. It bounces out of the end zone. So they'll start from the 20.
It was a good rush on him, too, Jim. They were playing 9 men on the line of scrimmage, and he got his kick away very quickly and very well.
It went 50 yards before she came down. And the Jets never made a move for it. There was no doubt in their minds, with 1:47 now remaining on the clock, they wanted that ball for sure as far up as they could get it. 3-3 is the score. The Jets drew first blood in the first quarter, Kansas City in the second. The Jets send 2 men wide to the left side. George Sauer, I beg your pardon, now they have singled up again. Sauer wide to the left. Big Turner's wide to the right. Davis drops back, hands off now to Mathis. Mathis across the 20, gets perhaps a yard, and that's as far as he's going to go. Buck Buchanan plugs the hole.
I believe there was a change at the line of scrimmage that time because Sauer got up from his position, moved over a little closer so that he might hear the automatic.
1 minute and 31 seconds remaining in the first half in a beautiful football game. Officially, it is a 2-yard pickup for Billy Mathis. Toward the left side, so it'll be second down with 8 yards to go. The ball is on the New York 22. Wide receivers left and right side. It's Big Turner on the right. 2 setbacks, Mathis on the left side, and Matt Snell on the right. Namath hands to Snell across the center now. Picks up about 2 to 3 more, and it stops just shy of the 25-yard line.
Jim, the booing may be a little unfair, as Dick Lynch points out. With a minute left to play in the game, Kansas City has 6 defensive backs in there, which means that they've got just about everybody who can come out for a pass covered. So Namath is hoping that somebody might break away on a running play.
Clock is finally stopped now with 44 seconds showing on it, Joe. And that could be the most important factor right now. The score, the Jets 3 and Kansas City 3. More Jets football after this message from Score.
Score presents the 4 Jets. I'm Big Turner, and we're the 4 Jets. Mr. Jim Turner, Country Don Maynard, Brother Matt Snell. Hey man, I don't dig my hair with any messy grease and slick 'em. That don't look right, don't look right, don't look right.
Across the 30-yard line, stopped by Bobby Bell and Jerry Mays, and it might be enough for a first down with 32 seconds remaining. It is pretty close to it. See if they're going to measure or not. Official time, they are going to measure this one. It is very, very close. Very, very close, and it is a first down. First down, New York. About on the 30-yard line in New York territory with 32 seconds remaining in the first half. As Joe Hassel pointed out to you, they have got everybody and his brother playing deep for Kansas City to protect against the pass, the expected pass by Joe Namath. So far, he's been staying on the ground with the possibility of breaking somebody loose, a long gainer on the ground. Mathis, incidentally, almost was that man. He ran out of space on the right sideline. Wide left, Turner wide right side. Mathis and Snell the setback. Says Joe Namath looks to the right side. Now checks his left. Team comes set. And Namath turns around for a handoff to Snell. He gets an interference blocked by Mathis. Gets across midfield to the 45-yard line, almost to the midfield mark. He is stopped short of the 50 as time runs out. And through at the end of the first half, the score, the New York Jets 3, the Kansas City Chiefs 3. At Shea Stadium in New York, along with Joe Hansel and Jim Gordon. This is Ted Hodge speaking to you at halftime in the American Football League playoff game between the New York Jets and the Kansas City Chiefs. The playoff game, of course, matches the very best, and the score indicates that's what we're seeing here today. 3-3. The only scoring in the ball game in the first quarter, Jim Turner kicked a 27-yard field goal for the New York Jets. In the second quarter, Jan Stenerud kicked a 23-yard field goal for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's been it in this ball game. And again, we want to remind our listeners that in the event that this game should end in a tie, there will be a sudden death playoff period, and there'll be a 2-minute intermission, actually. At the end of the game, there'll be about a 2-minute intermission, according to the schedule set up by the league. And after the 2-minute intermission, there will be a sudden death period. It is scheduled for 4 minutes, and if it's still tied, then they'll go on from there. Whichever team scores first in this overtime period will be the winner of the game. The game will end right there, and that'll be it. So, in case the score stands where it is now, 3-3, or in case it winds up in a tie with some other score, that's what'll happen. They'll have an extra period, and so that in any eventuality, the game, when it is finally over, will not, under any circumstances, end in a tie. This is a cold and crisp but clear day at Shea Stadium. The temperature now is down in the 20s, about 28 degrees, we've just been advised. There's a cold, cold wind down on the field and blowing into the stands and into the fourth floor where the press, radio, and television facilities are located here. 13 to 32-mile-an-hour gusts as the wind blows. And there's been snow here in New York, and it's piled up on the sidelines down below us and across the field. You see plenty of the white stuff. Right now, the more than 62,000 fans have turned out for this game are being entertained by the Jet Sets marching and drill team. And right now, they're going to be entertained by the Westchester, Pennsylvania State College Band. This has been an interesting ball game. It's been, if you've been with us from the start, it's been, as you know, a defensive game, with neither team able to mount any scoring thrust. Nobody has been inside the 20-yard line of the opponent, with the exception of a fourth down play, which required field goal attempt. And one of them was by the Jets. They had the ball on the 16-yard line with fourth down and long yardage. And Jim Turner kicked a 23-yard field goal on that occasion. That was back in the first quarter. Then the second quarter, Kansas City found itself almost in the identical situation. And Jan Stenerud booted the field goal for the Chiefs. And that's where it stands now. It was good. That's where it stands now. Now, Stenerud has tried 3 field goals this afternoon. The short one was the one he made, the 23-yarder. And he tried one of 47 yards and one of 41 yards, and he missed them both, and they both came in the second period of play. Kansas City had the ball on a few more plays than did the Jets. It'll be interesting. We'll have the statistics on that, all the first half statistics, very shortly here at our New York Jets Radio Network broadcasting booth. The score at halftime, again, is the Kansas City Chiefs 3 and the New York Jets 3. Again, we greet you from Shea Stadium, Long Island, New York, where we're at halftime in the game between the New York Jets and Kansas City Chiefs, the first American Football League playoff game, which these teams hope will lead eventually to an appearance in the Super Bowl against the champion of the National Football League. That game, of course, will be played at the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans on Sunday, January 11th. The Jets and Chiefs playing today. Tomorrow, the second playoff in the AFL will take place out in Oakland, California, where the Raiders
will be playing the Houston Oilers. Under the playoff system, the Jets, which won the East Division title, play Kansas City, which came in second in the West. Tomorrow, they switch around. The Western title winner, Oakland, plays the second team in the Eastern Division, the Houston Oilers. Meanwhile, playoff activity, or actually the regular season in the National Football League, doesn't end until tomorrow. Then they go into their playoffs. The winner of today's game will play the winner of tomorrow's game. That is the Chiefs or Jets, whichever team wins today, will play Oakland or Houston, whichever game wins tomorrow's game. They'll play for the American Football League Championship on Sunday, January 4th. We're ready for the second half kickoff in this tie game. The score, Kansas City 3 and New York 3. And the ball has been placed on the 40-yard line of Kansas City. Jan Sunderwood kicking off to the Jets. He comes forward, boots the ball, it's in the air, and here is Jim Gordon.
Mike Battle's going to run it back to the 5 to the 10. He's up to the 15. He tracks across the 20, still on the feet to the 25, and really wobbling around the knees as he gets to the 25-yard line. He's up and all right. So Battle, with a net gain of some 5 yards past that automatic 20-yard line, as far as he's concerned. He sets his eyes actually on the 30, figuring anything after that is pure gravy. I've heard of football chatter shows. I never thought they were talking about Chiefs until today. This is a cold one. 3-3 the score. The Jets putting the ball in motion now. Head off in the backfield to Boozer, trying to sweep the left side. He gets across the line of scrimmage and picks up about 5 to 7 yards before he is down just short of the 30-yard line. Boozer couldn't quite make the turn around the corner. He came close.
Bearing in mind, Jim, that if they get close to the Kansas City goal, they will be in the protected side of the stadium if they're thinking of any field goal kicking.
Both field goals that Joe Hassel points out have come from the same end of the field. At the open end of Shea Stadium, the top of the horseshoe, gusty winds and a little bit tough. 2 wide receivers to the right side for the New York Jets. Towers the inside man. Namath is looking to his right. They can't get free. They got Namath. They get to Namath back behind the line of scrimmage. He is trapped there and down.
Incidentally, Boozer was one of the men going out for the pass, Jim, as we had anticipated in the first half. He may be utilized in that position.
Left end, Jerry Mays, number 75. Always a tough man to handle. Came cracking across and down. Joe Namath from behind. So it's a loss of 6 and a big play. Both Len Dawson and Joe Namath started off very, very well in the passing department this afternoon, and it was like somebody turned a switch. All of a sudden, neither one could do anything right. They have not been intercepted, but neither have they been able to find their targets. The handoff to Snell on a draw. He cracked across the left side of the line and picked up about 4 more in a sudden spurt, getting up almost to the 30-yard line where the Jets were before they lost the ball, or before the Namath was dropped for a 6-yard loss.
Jim, as you remember, Namath completed 4 out of 4 the first 4. Then he went 6 without a completion. Then he completed 1 and missed again. That was the first half.
Len Dawson, too, went for about 5 for 5 in the first half, the first time he threw, and after that suddenly couldn't find his man. Of course, the coverage has been very, very tight, as expected in a game like this. For the first time today, I believe, Steve O'Neill has his back into the wind now as he punts the ball. He's had a couple of dummies. This one high and coming down around the 30-yard line in Kansas City territory. Takes a big bounce short of the 30, bouncing back upfield toward the 40-yard line and across that and finally rolls out of bounds. Here in New York, the second half of the game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Jets just getting underway. The Jets put the ball in play for a series of 3 downs, put the advance for a first down until Steve O'Neill has just booted it out up to the Kansas City 46-yard line. The Chiefs will be putting the ball in play from there. The Chiefs, Jim Gordon, has had pretty good field position on a number of these punts this afternoon. They have indeed. The Jets, however, have not been getting the kind of distance that they expect out of O'Neill today. I don't know what it is, whether he's having trouble with the pole himself, perhaps the muscles aren't stretched far enough, but he's not getting the kind of distance they expect of him. He's a 5-punter, one of the best in the league. And as a matter of fact, he's been following these Jet broadcasts. He set a league record this year. 3-3 ball game. New York Jets and the Kansas City Chiefs at Shea Stadium in New York, with the temperature we are judged now down below the freezing mark. And
gusty winds. It is a clear day, though.
Jim, in the first half, the Jets have 7 first downs to 9 for Kansas City. Namath's completed 5 of 13. Dawson 7 of 15.
They have Warren McVeigh as a running back now for Kansas City. He is split off and sent to the left side of Len Dawson. The fake now gives to McVeigh, who tries to center the line. He's clobbered there. Brought down by Al Atkinson in the center, who was watching all the way on the draw.
He's a very fine running back, Jim. They call him Bullet because he shaves his head and he runs the 40 and 4-2. And we were waiting for him to get in there, but he got in there for just one play, and this one didn't go.
Jim Tyrer and Verlin Biggs were throwing some knuckles around in there very quickly. They were separated, no damage done. It is that kind of a game. And it will get to be more and more so as time goes on. A 3-3 tie game. Frank pitches wide to the left side. Got Otis Taylor working inside him. 2 men wide on the left end. Dawson is looking that way. He's being rushed now. They got him and dragged him down at the 35-yard line. Al Atkinson got to Len Dawson, and they take him down inside the 35.
Jim, once again, it was Verlin Biggs. This is a tremendously strong man. Carried his man in, pushed him off, which opened up an alley for Atkinson to come through and just kind of beat Verlin to the tackle. It was a fine defensive play.
This is one of the things, of course, the Jets were hoping to do early in the game. That is get across to Len Dawson. You cannot give this man time to set. He doesn't need much time. He's one of the great all-time passers in the game. But if you make him rush just the least little bit, especially on a cold day, it's going to make a big difference in the football game. 2 setbacks on either side of Len Dawson. 2 wide receivers on the right side now. Dawson is back. He's getting rushed by Elliott. He throws to his right side. It is incomplete. Out of bounds.
I tell you, Elliott was in there, couldn't be in there much quicker. Wendell Hayes just gave him a little bit of just a slight body block, Jim, which threw him off stride. Otherwise, you'd have had Dawson.
It was on his off foot, Joe. There's no doubt about it. You say it was a brush block, but he had that foot in the air, and so was sprung for about 5 yards. Tremendous rush by New York. I think these last 2 times, it is the biggest rush we've seen New York put on all year long. Throw it is fourth with 22 to go, and they're going to have to punt from about the 25-yard line. Their own 25, of course. High pass from center, almost got away. Lifted in the air, and it's floating just around the 50-yard line. Drops down to 45, bounces to the 40, and they're going to down it there at the 40-yard line. With the score, the Jets 3 and the Chiefs 3. There's time out on the field. More Jets football in just 60 seconds.
Oh, look, Ted. The Kellys in the parade with their new car.
Yeah, Mavis, I see.
What is it? Sure looks expensive. One of those big, fancy European cars, I'll bet.
Mavis, that's an American Motors Ambassador SST. No more expensive than a lot of Fords or Chevys.
If I know Marianne Kelly, I'll bet they chinced on the extras to get a car that looks like that.
That Ambassador has air conditioning, individually adjustable reclining seats.
How do you know so much about the Kellys' Ambassador?
Air conditioning is standard equipment, not an option in all new Ambassadors.
Ted, you know, we really could use a new car. Could we?
Mavis, I've already ordered our new Ambassador.
Wait till I see Marianne Kelly.
See Prime American Motors having the most exciting auto show in Fort Plain. Whatever you want in a car, they have it ready for immediate delivery. Prime American Motors in Fort Plain.
The New York Jets put the ball in play now from their own 41-yard line. It will be 1st and 10 from that point. A tie game 3-3. 11-12 to go in the third quarter. Again, here is Jim Gordon. Kansas City's got double coverage on both wide receivers as Namath looks to his right side to Bake Turner, who it is incomplete. Bake had trouble getting away. He's calling for pass interference.
He was tripped on about the 45. He maintained, Jim. He did stumble. The official was right on top of it, and Bake Turner complained to him, but there was no call.
Turner was angling toward the right side and suddenly cut back in, veered toward center, and just didn't get there in time. The score is just a long incompletion. The score is tied 3-3. 11 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the third period. Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Jets. Wide receivers left and right. Name with his back. He's looking to his left side. Throws over the middle instead. It is intercepted. It is at the 45-yard line. And down there. Evan Thomas picked it out of the air. It is the first interception of the afternoon. Everybody in the press box is saying the same thing. This is the kind of a game that is decided by a break. There is the first interception of the afternoon. It gives the Kansas City Chiefs the ball on their own 46-yard line. First and 10 to go.
I would say that so far, Garrett is the rushing hero of the game. He picked up 45 yards on 9 attempts. Snell has picked up 41 on 7.
Garrett is in as one of the setbacks now. Pitch out goes to Garrett. He's getting interference to the right side. Turns the corner, gets up to the 50, across the 50, angles to the sidelines, and is flung out of bounds there. Right across the New York Jets bench, as a matter of fact. Cornell Gordon got to him, had him by an arm. So to be a second down for the Kansas City Chiefs as they and the Jets are tied 3-3. Kansas City trying to get across the 50-yard line. Have cracked across it by about 2 yards now. Ball on the New York Jet 48. Second and 4 to go on the run by Garrett. Randy Beverly is the cornerback on the right side for New York. Cornell Gordon on the left. Jimmy Richards is one of the safeties. Along with Billy Baird. Now the Jets are full Baird out. They're working with an extra linebacker. Hand off again to Garrett. Garrett across the middle of the 45-yard line, down to the 40-yard line, and Garrett is hit there. And drops to the turf as he crosses the 40-yard line. Cornell Gordon puts the stop to it.
Well, as you can see, Dawson again is using the running game to set up his throwing game, Jim. He's in the end of the field where that wind which flows between the scoreboard and the stadium could affect the accuracy of his throwing. But as you know, we are into the third quarter, and they will have every advantage in the fourth and final quarter.
Crane is in as the extra linebacker for New York. You understand that Bobby Hall is down with an attack of intestinal flu. In the backfield now, Chapley crack across the middle, across the 40-yard line, and that's about as far as they're going to get. As the Jets stop them there, Al Atkinson plugging the hole in the middle. Ball is still just about on the 40. See as the umpire, it's just across the 40-yard line, about on the 41.
Incidentally, Hayes and Garrett, Hayes who carried that time, seem to be the workhorses for the Chiefs. Hayes has caught 3 passes for 40 yards in the first half, and he's run 6 times for 23 in the first half. So, Jim, he's been busy along with Garrett.
Once again, that I formation breaks up. Garrett sets to the right side, Wendell Hayes to the left. Len Dawson turns around, hands on, takes the hand off, he's being chased, he throws to the line of scrimmage, complete to Hayes, is down at the 40. Hayes as a relief man takes it at the 40 and is hit from behind by Paul Crane, the extra linebacker in there for the New York Jets. And they again tested Jerry Philbin's side of the line, and it just didn't work. Philbin, incidentally, Joe, we can't say too much about. He's working with that brace around his left shoulder.
Well, it's easy to see why he was picked on the All-Stars too, Jim. Great competitor.
Ball is still in the 40. It is third and 10 to go still for Kansas City. They are again within ordinary field goal range, even though it takes a good kick to make it from any place around that mark. But again, the winds are very tricky in Shea Stadium, and they'd like to be able to pick up more distance for Jan Centerud. Dawson is back. He's still got the ball to the 50. He's looking deep downfield and throws to Taylor. Incomplete. Otis Taylor was fine coverage by Billy Baird. Baird was almost inside Taylor's jersey that time. 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Third quarter of a fine football game that is tied 3-3. And Centerud's going to come on to try a toughie. It's going to be one of the toughest attempts that Centerud has ever made. It's going to come from about the 48-yard line with a tough crosswind. It's a gusty wind here at Shea Stadium. 47-yard line. It'll be a real tough try. It's a 3-3 game. It is down. The ball is up in the air, low, and it is wide to the left side. No good. No good. The score, the Jets 3, the Chiefs 3, more Jets football after this word from Mobile.
do for you today?
I'd like to have this clean pie.
Wait a minute. That's an automobile engine.
Very good. Do you guarantee against shrinkage?
Mister, this is the dry cleaners. We can't clean your engine.
I know it's pretty dirty, but I think if you use some spot remover, you can get those grease stains out. I would like it on a hanger, if you don't mind.
Sure.
It's not so dumb wanting to clean your engine. After all, a cleaner engine can get more power and better mileage. But there is an easier way. Mobile detergent gasoline. Whether you use premium or regular, both blends of Mobile help clean the inside of your engine for you. All you do is drive your car. So if you want to help make your car run better, don't go to a dry cleaner. Just go to a Mobile dealer. We clean up what most gasolines make dirty.
Here at New York for the third time this afternoon, Jan Stenderud, a fine place kicker for Kansas City, has missed a field goal attempt. He's made 1 out of 4. Now the Jets put the ball in play from their own 21st and 10. Score tied 3-3 against Jim Gordon.
Namath has the ball in a rush. He throws complete to Lamons across the middle. Pete Lamons at the 35-yard line on that short cross pattern. Willie Neer down to Minnis track. Hit the first down, New York. Yard pass play for New York. The Jets approaching the midfield mark now. Boozer and Snell are set. Big turn to the right side. Sauer to left the draw play to Snell. On the option now, he goes to a tackle and picks up across the 40-yard line before he stops on the 42.
This is the idea, Jim, to keep the pressure on, to keep mixing up the plays. The cat's been going in the wrong direction. Namath has now done it for these two sequences, and if he can just keep upsetting them, he can move his team. He's got about 7 minutes to bring them down to this end of the field, the best end of the field.
Ball is on the left side hash marker. The Jets go into action once again. 2 setbacks either side of Joe Namath. They turn a well out on the right side. The handoff in the backfield, and they try in the middle of the line. Pick up perhaps 2. Tracking across and putting the ball down on the 45. Willie Neer again stopped it.
They were playing almost a 7-man line defensively that time, Jim. I would imagine they anticipated it.
If you just tuned in, you missed some football. It's a first down. Just enough for the first down. It is a 3-3 football game. The Jets with a field goal in the first quarter. Kansas City catching up in the second. Both teams have really been in trouble ever since that time, not really getting within good field goal range with cold, gusty winds at Shea Stadium. Sauer is the inside man and a double wide receiver right side. Jake Turner is the outside man. Namath is looking to his right. He's got an open man. It is complete to Sauer. He's run out of bounds. That's the 45-yard line.
Fine pattern, Jim. Jake Turner was the short man, went inside. Sauer came over from the other side, went to the outside, and made the catch. I think what they were trying to do is to kind of confuse the defenders, and whatever it was, it worked for at least a game.
He was looking for the first down on that out pattern, and he didn't quite make it, apparently. Just a little bit short. Gain of 9 yards on a 1st and 10 situation. 2nd and 1 to go in New York. Once again, the wide receivers are split either end. Line play, and it might be enough for a first down at the keeper. I name it. Let's see where he makes. Namath on a keeper, looking for the first down. First down.
That's a big line to move out of there, Jim. They're playing 7 men, playing what is an old, virtually a 7-2-2.
Jets 3 and Chiefs 3. The Jets are now within Kansas City territory on a 1st and 10 situation. The ball is spotted on the 45. Turner right, Sauer left, Namath back, looking, still looking, throws to the right side and deep. That's for Turner. It is intercepted at the 10-yard line. He turns to the 15, up to the 20, across the 20 to the 25 to the 30, across the 30 to the 35 to the 40, and down before he gets to the 45-yard line. Marcellus is the interceptor, Jim Marcellus, on a pattern in which Big Turner was not the turn to look until the ball got to him, and he waited a split second too long.
That's right. Marsalis just moved in under him, Jim, and their hands must have clashed in the air as they reached for the ball.
So a big jet drive is stalled, and Kansas City takes over. With Marsalis returning it from inside the 10-yard line, almost to the 45. The ball is down officially on the 44, first and 10 to go, Kansas City. Holmes is back in the ball game again, number 45 is one of the running backs. The handoff is to Garrett. Garrett is hit, slowed down, gets across scrimmage, and then is downed after a gain of about 1.5 yards. The whole center of the New York Jet line collapsed on him.
Incidentally, you notice, Jim, that Dawson is staying away from the traffic. He's going very deep on these hands-off. After he hands the ball away, he keeps retreating another 5 yards. He's not going to be hit.
This is about as tough as we've seen the New York Jets rush this year. They are not known as a blitzing team, but they've been putting more pressure on here in the third quarter than in the entire game or the entire season. Ball is on the 45, second and 9 to go. Setbacks now, no I formation. Dawson is back, he's getting pass protection and a rush on him. He's throwing deep. Rhoda Taylor, incomplete. He overthrew his pass.
Nobody within 10 yards of him, Jim. Nobody within 10 yards of him. Taylor went down on the far side, cut to the inside. There was a mix-up in the coverage, and he was at midfield as regards the sidelines, down around the 15. All he had to do was catch it. It was overthrown. And aren't we glad?
It was tough. Taylor is the man that ripped the Jets apart in their only previous meeting here at Shea Stadium. He apparently is a very, very sneaky ball player in the line. He gets good moves and springs loose.
Jim Richards came in. Paul Crane went out. We've got 5 defensive backs in there, Jim. 3rd and 9 coming up.
Time beginning to become quite important here. We only have 4:48 to go in the third period. In a 3-3 game, and it will be sudden death, as Ted Hodge pointed out before. If it ends in a tie. Dawson's got the eye now with 2 men behind him. Holmes and Garrett, the running back. The fake handoff. He's dropping back. He's getting a rush. He throws across the middle. Incomplete. And Dawson is really clobbered at the 30-yard line. Driven back about 5 yards.
Sylvan, Biggs, and Thompson were in on him, and he was hit that time. He was hit heavily.
Dawson is shook as the punter comes in now for Kansas City with the Jets putting on the pressure. Mike Battle is deep. Billy Baird will be stationed off the 30-yard line. The Jets will be coming in hard on this one. They're trying to crack. The punt is up, and it's a beauty. It's a low one. Could be a penalty as the kicker is hit. A loose ball picked up by Battle. Battle to the 20-yard line is down there, and there could be a roughing the kicker penalty coming up.
Paul Crane came in to block it, and he hit the man. All he's got to do is just hit him, and it's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be a first down for Kansas City.
So there's one of those big breaks that we're talking about, Joe. They can go either way, and this one certainly against the New York Jets. The ball is up to the 50-yard line on a roughing the kicker penalty. So Kansas City gets a big break. Dawson comes right back in again. He's got the ball exactly in midfield. It is centered between the hash marks at the 50-yard line.
As Wilson came over to the sideline, everybody on the bench got up and congratulated him, Jim, because of the fine kick and the fact that he was rough.
He got off a beauty one all the way down to the 10-yard line. Dawson's got 2 setbacks. He's got 2 men wide on his right side now. The team comes set. Gets very quiet in Shea Stadium. Dawson drops back, throws to his right side. Deflected and almost intercepted. Berlin knows. Paul Crane, who was just hit with that penalty, almost had the ball, and he would have been off and gone.
Yes, sir, Jim. Again, that fine effort of going into the air, reaching up there, trying to block it, which a lot of linemen don't do, a lot of linebackers don't do, but he did it and just missed hanging on to the ball. It's pretty tough to do in this cold weather.
So the ball stays on the 50, second down and 10 yards to go. 4 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in the third quarter of a tied 3-3 game. Wide receivers left and right side. Dawson over the middle, complete one to the 40-yard line. Still a seat to the 35, to the 30. Still in a seat. Arbanis down to the 25, and down short of the 20-yard line. Fred Arbanis with a fine, twisting run, breaking at least 3 tackles, and finally stopped by Paul Crane.
Again, that quick looking type of pass, Jim, whereby Dawson gets the ball and unloads it almost immediately. Arbanis is in the backfield, moving towards the center and makes the catch. He's a tough man to bring down. He's about 250, and he's not fast, but he has mobility.
This is probably the biggest threat that Kansas City has had since they scored in the second quarter. They have the ball in the Jet 24, certainly within range now. The talented toe, John Centerwood. The handoff to Garrett, who's cluttered as he tries to cross the 25-yard line. He is stopped by Johnny Elliott. Elliott stops Mike Garrett, a fine runner. Again, not a big man, 5'9", but 190 pounds of solid strength. Foster Richardson, number 30, comes in. Fred Arbanis goes out. Arbanis, the man who just picked up that key and critical game for the Kansas City Chiefs. Time running, 3 minutes and 17 seconds to go. Third quarter, 3-3, New York and Kansas City. They send out Otis Taylor wide to the right side now. Dawson is back. Everybody's going deep. Everybody. A long throw for Richardson is incomplete in the end zone. He dropped it.
He had 2 men beat down there. He was in the end zone. He tried to make an over-the-shoulder catch, Jim, and couldn't hang on to the ball. He did reach the ball.
They had everybody going deep that time. 3-3, the score remains. 3rd and 11 with the ball on the 25. Otis Taylor, Foster Richardson, and Frank Fitz, all fine speed merchants, all good pass catchers, working now with Len Dawson. Ball at 25, 3rd with 11 to go. Kansas City taking plenty of time. Otis Taylor back in at the right side with Foster Richardson working inside him with 2 men wide on the right. Dawson drops back, throws to his relief man to Hayes, short of the 20, he breaks 1 tackle, gets across the 20, has ridden out of bounds before he gets to the 15. John Elliott.
Well, Center Road gets another chance, Jim. He's coming on now. They will try a field goal.
2 minutes and 35 seconds to go, Joe, in the 3rd period. And Centerwood in good form here, good shape. Ball will be kicked on the left side hash mark. It'll be about 26 yards, is right, about 26. Certainly within range, he's a fine kicker. The ball is spotted down, it is up in the air, and it is good, and Kansas City leads. The score, Kansas City Chiefs 6 to New York Jets 3. Now, here's a word from Valentine.
Dave, if you've ever played football, you know how fast you can work up a great big thirst. And you know what satisfies the thirst best? The great taste of a Valentine beer, the crisp, refresher. Nothing tastes like it. Icily light, smooth and delicious. Why, it's almost worth getting thirsty just to get your hands on one. And you know why Valentine tastes the way it does? Well, part of it is the way it's brewed. Crystally clear, smooth and delicious. And then aged to make it precisely right. The other part is experience, over 130 years of it. So, the next time you build yourself a great thirst, get yourself a great beer. Step up and ask the man for a Valentine Premium Lager, the crisp refresher. Nothing tastes better than an ice-cold Valentine beer. So here at New York, the Kansas City Chiefs, on the kicking toe of John Centerwood, have gone ahead of the New York Jets for the first time. They lead now 6-3. Over the Jets with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the 3rd period of this playoff game in the American Football League. Now Centerwood has placed the ball on the 40-yard line. The deep men for the Jets again are Mike Battle and George Knox. Centerwood comes forward. He moves the ball. It's a low one, and here is Jim Gordon.
Takes it out to the 20. Michael out of bounds. There's a flag, and she goes out. It'll cost a 5. Kick kickoff's got to stay in. It did not. It is Kansas City 6 and the New York Jets 3 with 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the third quarter. So Centerwood will have to kick this one from the 35 now. Obviously try to keep it low. They are very tough to handle. Angling for the corner, but it took a big right angle bounce going out on the left sideline as you look upfield from a Kansas City standpoint. 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go, 6-3 the score in the third period. Kansas City with the New York Jets. Centerwood the kicker. Looks it in the air, another low one, sailing down to the 10-yard line where Battle will field it, and he'll try to run it to the 15 to the 20, 25, across the 25 to the 30, gets across the 30-yard line just about and is stopped there.
Of course, Jim, as Dick Lynch has pointed out, those bouncing kickoffs could be intentional with the idea that they're tough to field. They pin you down, they hold you there a little bit to bring it back. Gives the kicking team time to get down a little bit better.
Crowd comes alive. Don Maynard is in as wide receiver on the right side. For the first time this afternoon, he'll be testing out that broken foot. Hand off in the backfield. Billy Mapp is up the line of scrimmage. Gets rid of one tackler. Can't shake the other one, though, and is down just about on the line. Curly Culp, number 61.
Might look for something on a crisscross pattern, Jim. I noticed that Maynard went down on the right side and then cut over. Sauer came down on the left and cut inside. And they may be trying to do to the Chiefs what the Chiefs were doing to them, get the secondary a little confused on their assignment.
Wide receivers go wide, left and right side with Sauer left, Maynard right. 2 setbacks on either side of Namath, who is looking to throw the ball. Over the middle it is, complete to Sauer at the 50-yard line. Down on the 49. Emmett Thomas, the only man between him and the goal, had wrestled them down. Joe, to see how much of a psychological effect Don Maynard has.
Got 40 seconds left in this quarter, and this is the side of the field to try to do it on, Jim. It'll be a little tougher going the other way.
The clock is running as Namath looks to Maynard on the right side. His relief man is Snell, who didn't turn in time. And he's angry with himself. He was looking downfield. The ball was drilled at him. As he turned around, it was already in his body.
Namath was hit. And there's a flower down, and maybe roughing a flag down, roughing the passes, Jim. Joe is a little upset because Namath didn't turn around. He's talking to him now, but Namath is just as well satisfied. He got 15 yards.
6-3 to score Kansas City, but the Jets on that penalty for roughing the passer have a 1st and 10 to go on the 35-yard line of the Chiefs. Namath is back. He's looking to his right side. He throws complete to Snell. Same play, this time complete. Snell moves down almost to the 25-yard line when he's dropped by Jim Connie.
Jim, we're getting down to that 20-yard line, and as you know, all season long, the Jets have had trouble scoring from inside the 20.
Namath is moving toward the far sideline, so watch him as he goes.
He may be going over to talk it over with the coach. Of course, that's the end of the third quarter. The score, Kansas City 6, the Jets 3. More Jets football after this message from Score.
Score presents the 4 Jets. I'm Beg Turner, and we're the 4 Jets. Mr. Jim Turner, Country Don Maynard, Brother Matt Snell. Hey man, I don't get my hair with any messy grease and slick on. That don't look right, don't look right, don't look right.
New York, we move into the fourth quarter of play. Kansas City leading the New York Jets by a score of 6-3, but the Jets have the ball on the Kansas 26. Their best thrust of the second half. They have a second down and a yard to go. Again, Jim Gordon. Ron Maynard in the game. His wide receiver right side, George Sauer on the left. Two setbacks as much of the crowd gets to its feet to watch the action. Namath turns, hand off to Billy Mathis, who tries the center of the line, looking for that big yard. He will be close. That's his way till they unpile. Buck Buchanan made the stop. We'll pause here 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Jets Radio Network. It is a first down, New York. 6-3 Kansas City. The ball on the 25-yard line of the Kansas City Chiefs. 14 minutes and 27 seconds remaining in the football game. Two wide receivers left side. Maynard is the inside man. Sauer is on the outside. Joe Namath turns around, fakes the handoff to Mathis. Getting protection, throws deep to the left side. It is going to go out of bounds. Meant for Matt Snell, who came across as a pass receiver and couldn't get to the ball.
Sauer had his man beat going deep, Jim. He was in the end zone and was in there having about 3 or 4 yards on the nearest defender. You know that he's going to come back and tell Joe that he had his man beat, and maybe we'll see some activity in that area.
Interesting pattern of that with Snell, but again, Namath had trouble with the left side sideline all afternoon. He has not been able to gauge it. You can only guess cold weather. On almost every play to the left side, he's thrown the ball out of bounds by about 5 yards over his man. Single wide receiver left and right side. Now it's Pete Lamont, the tight end, working on the right side. Mathis on the left as they're running back along with Snell on the right is running back behind Joe Namath. Namath calls the team set now. Drops back. He's got protection. He is looking to throw deep into the end zone for Sauer. It is. There's a flag in the play. Looks like a penalty. It's a penalty in the end zone as Sauer reaches for it.
Puts it on the 1-yard line. A penalty in the end zone will put it on the 1-yard line.
And Joe, you couldn't have called it better. Sauer indeed obviously came back and said he had his man beat. He had him beat again, which is why Thomas fouled him. That is the break of the football game.
Today's attendance is, I believe, a new AFL record, 62,977, Jim.
Ron Maynard has just gone out. They got Wayne Stewart, the big tight end, in now as a receiver. The Jets looking for 1 yard. Play on the right side to Matt Snell, and Snell is stopped just short of the goal line unless he's underneath someplace. This cold afternoon in New York, 62,977 people in Shea Stadium.
I would say a foot, Jim.
Ball on the 1-foot line. Second down, that 1 foot to go for New York to take the lead in a 6-3 game with Kansas City currently on top. Namath to Mathis. Mathis is stopped short. Mathis doesn't make it. He was stopped in midair. He tried to go over the top and couldn't make it. And they'll have to try it again. We had one like this earlier this year, in which Namath crossed everybody up and kept the ball within by himself. They're able to wedge the middle out. But it's a dangerous play. Third and still that 1 foot to go. Team comes set. Namath fakes. He's going to throw. He's running out to his right side. Nobody is loose. Still no receiver. Still no receiver. He is hit and really hit on the outside. Falling down incomplete. Namath was really clobbered on the 5-yard line. Nobody could get loose. He is up and hurt.
They're going to go for the field goal, Jim. Jim Turner's coming in. Namath is hurt on the far side. He may be just momentarily shaken up.
He seems to be moving all right, Joe.
Now he finds a big defensive play by the Kansas City Chiefs, who stopped them with a yard to go, Jim. It's, as we say, this is a top team as far as the defense is concerned.
A fine goal line stand by Kansas City. Jim Turner, with only the most important field goal of the entire season, in front of him right now. The ball was down, in the air, and good. The score, New York Jets 6 and Kansas City 6. There's time out of the field. More Jets football in just 60 seconds.
Hey, are you an American Motors dealer?
Yes, sir.
Are you the guy that's going to try to sell me that new little low-priced Hornet?
Yes, would you like to...
Say, how come you call it the little rich car anyway?
Well, there are a lot of reasons. For one thing, Hornet is the first American car really designed to be a small car instead of just a smaller, cheaper version of a big car.
Yeah? Like what?
Well, a standard 128 six-cylinder engine, for one thing, and that's bigger than any other car of its kind. Electronically balanced wheels, solid aluminum grille.
But what about options?
Well, what do you want? Power steering, power brakes, factory air, 304 cubic inch V8 engine, plaid upholstery.
Now, wait a minute. Now, what if I'm not that rich?
Then you just say when, anywhere in between.
I'll say when, all right. When can I get my Hornet?
See Allen Brothers American Motors having the most exciting auto show in Johnstown. Whatever you want in a car, they have it ready for immediate delivery. Allen Brothers American Motors on the Arterial, Johnstown.
The New York Jets have just tied it up in the fourth quarter. New York 6 and Kansas City 6, all the scoring on field goals. The kickoff in Jim Gordon.
Coming down around the 10-yard line. Holmes has it up the 10. He's got interference in front of him. Cuts towards center field. Hit there and brought down hard. I think it was Jimmy Jones. It could have been Kim Carroll. Either Carroll or Jones putting his man down around the 20-yard line.
I think it was Jimmy Jones again, Jim. He seems to be the first man down with Battle right behind him and Carroll right along with him. They've got great speed for such big men, yes.
Well, now it is a 6-6 game, and just to review for you, we saw a lot of football time, 12 minutes and 27 seconds. This championship round game cannot finish off in a tie. If it ends up tied, we'll have a sudden death period. First team to score is the team that wins. We don't go too far away. The I formation behind Dawson. He fakes the handoff, drops back to his 10, and throws deep over the middle. Otis Taylor. It is completed to 50, to the 45. Trying to skid around Billy Barrett. It does. Runs to the 30, to the 25. He's to the 20 and hit from behind by Al Atkinson. And I don't know how he got downfield that far. Atkinson was a tremendous burst of speed. And I think Atkinson was the only man who had the shot. After that, Taylor was home free. Kansas City with a tie game 6-6. Now taking Taylor out and Richardson in. Taylor is no slowpoke by any stretch of the imagination. He's got good moves, but Richardson can fly.
Dawson came over and spoke to Hank Stram and has now got the play. Dick Lynch points out that, Jim, it was a great call. He went for the bomb right away and it worked.
The I formation breaks up. He's got O'Bannis as tight end on the left side. Hayes and Garrett on the setbacks on either side. Turns around, fakes the handoff. He's still got the ball. Drops back to the 30, throws into the end zone to Richardson. Complete touchdown. Ross to Richardson, complete for a touchdown. Getting behind Cornell Gordon on the first play after the long game by Otis Taylor. 2 plays, they went for 80 yards after one of the tightest games we had seen all season. And so the Jets have their work cut out for them now.
11 minutes, Jim. It's a lot of time.
Try for the extra point now. 12-6 to score. And the big point after. Santa Cruz, this might be almost automatic affair here. Will take his time. It is up and it is good. And the score, the Kansas City Chiefs 13, the New York Jets 6. More Jets football after this from Mobile.
Honey, you've been bathing for an hour now. Come on out.
Oh, just give me 5 more minutes.
What did you do? Get that monster out of our bathtub.
What? That's no monster. That's our car's engine.
What's it doing in the tub?
I'm cleaning it. Help get better mileage.
But, honey, look at the ring you're leaving around the tub.
Look, I think that's a fan belt.
It's not so dumb wanting to clean your engine. A cleaner engine can help keep your car from stalling. But there's an easier way. Mobile detergent gasoline. Whether you use premium or regular, both blends of Mobile help clean the inside of your engine for you. All you do is drive your car. So if you want to help make your car run better, you don't have to give your engine a bath. Just use Mobile detergent gasoline. We clean up what most gasolines make dirty.
After the kickoff, Mike Battle crosses the ball over the 30-yard line, up to the 32. And the Jets will take over in the fourth quarter, trailing by a score of 13-6 with 10 minutes and 51 seconds to go. Namath is still in the game. Drops back, throws to the left side to Snell, who drops the ball as he gets across the 35. Tremendous critic of himself for the second time this afternoon. Looks at the picture of absolute disgust.
Joe's hitting the potential receivers, Jim. He's doing his part of the job.
13-6 is the score. The Jets and their glorious Super Bowl victory and everything has now come down to this final game to see if they can maintain what they established last year. Sauer wide left side. Takes center, is wide on the right side. I'm sorry, it's Maynard back in the game again. The throw to the left side is complete to Sauer at the 40-yard line. And George is run out of bounds there by Emmett Thomas, number 18. It'll be good for a first and 10 New York. 10 minutes and 29 seconds to go. We're in the fourth and final period on a chill day in New York City. Gain of about 11. The ball is officially on the 43 before Sauer was run back. Once again, the team breaks the huddle. Maynard wide right side, Sauer wide on the left side. Two setbacks, Mathis and Snell. Namath is back, gets protection, throws to Mathis. Mathis across the 45 and picks up perhaps two more. He is short of the 50 when he is hit from behind by Jimmy Lynch, number 51. Time remaining, and this will become ever more important. 9 minutes and 47 seconds. The clock continues to run as the Jets try to cross the midfield line. Namath calls the team set. Looks to his right side. He is throwing that for Maynard. It is incomplete at the 40. Kansas City 40. Maynard was tackled as he lost control of the ball. And the Jets want to try again. 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6. Ball on the 47, and this is a very, very big play, Ted. Extremely so. They all become big right now, Jim, with time running out. 9:30 to go in the ball game, and the Jets trailing by 7. They have the ball at the 47-yard line of New York. So this third down play is always important, never so than right now. The ball is spotted down on the left side hash mark. Namath is back at the 40, getting a rush. He throws deep to the right side, meant for Maynard. He cannot get to it. The ball goes out of bounds, and the Jets will be forced to kick with 9 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. They're too far back for any kind of a field goal attempt, especially the way the wind conditions have been here at Shea Stadium this afternoon. So O'Neill will come in. He'll be standing in Jet territory at about the 32-yard line. He'll be kicking from about the 36. Mike Garrett, one of the deep men, and Willie Mitchell is the second deep man. The punt is in the air. It's a low skimming job. A bounce across the 20-yard line. Down here, takes a big bounce down near the 10 now, and the Jets are going to down it there at the 10-yard line. A big Jet bounce as the ball came down short of the 20, but continued to roll downfield. 9 minutes and 16 seconds of playing time remaining. And the Jets facing oblivion here. 13-6 they trail Kansas City. Well, they're going to have
to hold the Chiefs here, hopefully, Jim, and if they can do that, of course, if they can keep the Chiefs from getting their first down on this series of plays, the Jets will be in a good position to come back. They trail, remember, by 7 points. It means the Jets will have to have a touchdown and then undoubtedly have Turner come in and kick the extra point. You would have to think that they would not be going for the 2-point conversion because, remember, this is a sudden-death overtime type of situation. So the Jets might be playing it safe here if they are able to score a touchdown and have Turner come on and kick the extra point. That would tie 13-all and leave it anybody's game from then on. This is conjecture, of course, because they can get this far. They have to hold Kansas City from getting their first down. The Chiefs will be putting the ball in play from their own 12, and they will be moving in the direction which has been most advantageous thus far, Jim, from our left to our right.
Scott Garrett and Wendell Hayes as his running back. Dawson calls the signals now. 2 receivers, 1 each side wide. A handoff now. Garrett cracks across the middle and picks up at least 5 by the lift of it. Up to about the 15-yard line. They're down the far end of the field. We'll wait until they unpile and see exactly where the ball is. Ralph Baker made the stop that time. Well, he is stopped, apparently. Stopped for no gain. Second down and still 10 to go. 8 minutes and 48 seconds to go. 2 receivers wide on the right side. Frank Fitz is the inside man there, and Otis Taylor now the fine moves as the outside man, both at the 10-yard line. Ross turns around, hands over the backfield to Garrett. Garrett tries the left side of the line and is stopped after a small pickup by Jerry Tillman. I think, Ted, one of the big surprises this afternoon, although people in October probably won't be too shook up, is the way this man's been able to play with a shoulder separation. He looks good.
He has done a magnificent job here this afternoon, Jim. Not very much was expected of him. It was a question mark as to how much he would be able to play. He just played the entire game for the most part on defense. And as you said, early in the game, Kansas City decided to try him, and they found that was a mistake, so they have been going this way too much.
Mike Garrett picked up 3 yards, so it's a 3rd and 8. Dawson is back. He's looking on the right side. He is throwing incomplete. Incomplete. That's for Pitts on the right side of the line. Pitts reached for it at the 30-yard line and couldn't make it, so the Jets hold, and they're going to have to kick.
From the 14-yard line, this means the action will be kicking from near the goal line. And the Jets, you can be sure, will be trying to put the rush on, but they'll be also be very careful that they don't hit the punter after he boots the ball. So this could give the Jets the break they've been looking for with 7 minutes and 56 seconds of playing time remaining in the game. Gerald Wilson is standing right on the goal line to punt it.
Jets ready. So the Chiefs. The snap back to Wilson. Wilson puts it up into the air. It angles down around the 45-yard line. Battles got it across the 40 to the 35. Puts his head down and tries to pick up more. And he's hit by about 5 men. Suicide Mike Battle. And some of his teammates thought that the Kansas City Chiefs were hitting a little bit too hard. A few words on the field. Battle is made out of nothing but steel wool and barbed wire is all right.
Mike was ready to give it the old try that time, as he always is, Jim. And you saw him crouch as he caught the ball, and he planted that right foot deep and took off. But unfortunately, he was down almost immediately. So now the Jets are putting the ball in play from the Kansas City 38.
Raymond drops back. He's looking to throw the middle. It is complete near the 20-yard line of Maynard. Marcellus on the pass coverage down Maynard just across the 20. Maynard with a simple across center from the right side. Play. The Jets are threatening again with the ball now on the Kansas City 19 with 7 minutes and 9 seconds to go. The clock continues to run. Maynard wide right, Sauer wide left. Mathis and Snell in the backfield. Namath calls his team set now. The snap back. The hand on to Snell, who tries the middle and picks up about 3. He's down to about the 15-yard line. 6 minutes and 46 seconds to go. 6:46. favoring that foot. He's moving well. Now, with the kind of speed he's got, if that foot is at all near normal, this is a spot where you might be able to get loose. The ball is on the left side, has marked. Maynard worked on the right side of the line. Now, Sauer comes wide on the left with Maynard wide on the left, both wide on the left side. Two men set in the backfield for New York. Snell and Mathis. Namath is getting protection, dropping back. He's throwing to that right side to Maynard. It is incomplete to George Sauer in a close pattern. It was meant for Sauer at the goal line as he cut across. Emma Thomas had him all the way. All that beautiful wide open space on the right side, Sid. And Jim, this will bring up a 3rd and 7 play from the Kansas City 16-yard line for the Jets. The interesting conjecture here, of course, is if they don't make the first down on this play, what happens on the 4th? Will they go for the field goal with 6 minutes of playing time remaining, or will they go for the touchdown? We'll just wait and see. Jets break the huddle now. Maynard again, back in his familiar right side. Wide left. Namath is back. He's looking to his left. He is throwing in the end zone for Sauer. It is incomplete. Incomplete. Aaron Brown got to Joe Namath again. Coming in from defensive right end. Put him down. Well, here it is, Jim. A 4th down play with 7 yards to go on the 16-yard line of Kansas City. And I don't see Babe Hurley or Jim Turner coming in. So the Jets are going to go for it. 4th and 7 at the Kansas City 16. They trail Kansas City 13-6. 6 minutes playing time remaining in this championship game, or rather preliminary game for the AFL Championship. Okay, Jim. Left side. Maynard wide right side. Pete Lamont to the tight end, working the right side of the line. Mathis and Snell in the backfield. Namath is looking to Maynard on the right side. He's getting a rush. They're after him. He throws on the dead run. It is incomplete. And Namath is clobbered at the 30-yard line. Aaron Brown got to him. Joe is up. And he is limping slightly but moving. And so, once again, Kansas City for the 2nd time in the afternoon with the chips are really down are able to hold. Well, the Chiefs are putting on a good rush that time, and they're holding Namath back there. And all they could do was run laterally across the field from the near side to the far side of the field, trying to find somebody to throw to. Finally did find a release man who he thought he could get, but the ball fell short and harmless into the earth. We'll have a timeout on the field now. The score, Kansas City 13 and New York 6. Now, here's a message from Valentine. Lager beer. Here at Shea Stadium, Kansas City has just advanced the ball from the 16 to the 22-yard line, and there's a Kansas City player injured on the play. He is thrown on the field down at about the 30-yard line, and they're administering to him now. Jim Gordon has the field glasses on him, and as soon as the little group huddled around him gets away, we'll identify him for you. 5 minutes and 33 seconds playing time remaining in the game. Kansas City has the ball. It's on 22, 2nd down, 4 yards to go, and play is resumed. They lead the Jets by a score 13-6 in this playoff game in the American Football League. The winner of this game will play the winner of tomorrow's game between Oakland and Houston for the American Football League Championship on January 4th. Jim, in. Jerry Philbin comes cracking across to make the stop. 5 minutes and 23 seconds. The clock continues to run. Third down with 4 yards to go. And again, one of those big third down plays. Third and about 2, Jim, as they correct the scoreboard clock. Play wants to the 24-yard line. So it's third down and 2 to go for Kansas City. And right here, this is the big one right here. This is one of the biggest ones of the game right here. Wendell Hayes and Mike Garrett on the running back. They have them lined up now behind Len Dawson. 2 receivers wide on the left side. Otis Taylor and Frank Fitz. Turns around, hands off for the line play, and he might have been stopped. Short of the first down. Looks like Philbin coming in again. Along with Ralph Baker. He had to get over the 25, but from here it doesn't look like he made it, Jim. He did not. The team's a change. Even a good kick from here, of course. If the Jets are able to hang on, we'll put them in fairly good position. If the Kansas City Chiefs are able to unload it, and the Jets will be cracking. 4th and 1 to go. They've got the punt. The punter back in the 10-yard line. It is back. Ball in the air. Not carrying too far. Just around the 50. Comes down near the outside line and goes out of bounds around the 45-yard line of the New York Jets with 3 minutes and 51 seconds remaining in the game. This is going to be about the most important 3 minutes and 51 seconds of playing time the Jets have had all season. They're down to Kansas City by a score of 13-6. They see their world championship going out the window if they lose this one. Ball is on the 44-yard of New York. The New York Jets come out of the huddle and up to the line of scrimmage, and here again is Jim Gordon. Big center is back in, his wide receiver right side. Sorrow is offside on the play. Flags down, his name is on loads. It is complete to Turner at the 40-yard line. I'm sure this one's out of bounds to count. Sorrow really went across the line of scrimmage. Unless it's an offsetting penalty, that one should cost them. And the Jets are being set back. 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go. 3:45. We're in the 4th and final period. Offside New York. I can't ever remember seeing Sauer go across like that. I don't either, Jim. It's about the first time I believe that you've done that. Came at a critical time, actually, on his bench. He knew his worst stop as anybody. The Kansas City Chiefs only working with about 2 linebackers. They got 6 men back, so they're looking for Namath's pass work. One single linebacker. 1st and 15 to go for New York. Namath is back to his all 30. He's getting a rush. He throws. It is incomplete to the 50-yard line. Incomplete. Incomplete at the 50-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down with 15 to go. 2nd and 15. And Kansas City is really putting a rush on Joe Namath now. Yes, they are. They're going back there on every play. Every time Joe goes back, they go right back with him. They follow him right back. And, of course, they rush him passing, and this makes for inaccuracy. We saw that drive. So it's the 2nd and 15. It's on the 39-yard line for New York Jets. They're all 39. There's wide receivers, 2 of them on the right side and on the left now for New York. As Namath drops back to his 30 and throws to the right side, meant for Snell. It is he overthrows him at the 45-yard line. Clock stopped with 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go. 3rd down and still 15 big ones. Kansas City trails New York 3-0. Started with the field goal by Senator in the 2nd quarter, 3-3. Then picked up the big one, and this is the 4th quarter. The only touchdown of the game. Billy Mathis goes out now for New York. Jets taking plenty of dive. Matt Snell and Everson Boozer in the backfield. Boozer goes out as a wide receiver to the left side inside. side, George Starr. Two men also wide on the right side. Namath is back. No time for caution now. Throws over the middle. It is complete across the 50-yard line. And down as he gets across to about the 44-yard line. It'll be good enough for the first down, and that's what they were looking for. And with the pressure really on Joe Namath, he makes the biggest completion of the afternoon. The clock continues to run on the completed pass. It is 13-6 Kansas City, and the Jets are across midfield.
Real big play by Namath, which puts the ball in Kansas City territory, exactly where he wanted it. The only thing better would have been a pass that went all the way. This was the big one they needed, and they got it.
Namath drops back. He's looking to throw for the 50. It is complete to Sauer across the 30. And he is down in his tracks by Thomas.
Down to the 25-yard line, Jim. It's going to be another first down. 27-yard line of Kansas City. First and 10 for the Jets. 2 minutes and 38 seconds playing time remaining.
Ball on the 27. First and 10. Twice this afternoon, Kansas City is held in critical situations when the Jets seem to be marching for a touchdown. They'll be called upon for the third time now with the ball inside the 30. Mathis and Boozer are the setback. Receivers wide left and right. Namath looking to his right side is throwing deep on the right side. It is complete. No, he's out of bounds. They're waving it off. No, waving it off. He's out of bounds. He was not in the corner. It was meant for Pete Landis, who was not in bounds. He had the ball, but he was out of bounds. 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So the New York Jets will have to try it again. Second and 10 to go on the 27. Couldn't keep them both inbound. On a beautiful, beautiful throw by Joe Namath. Big Turner wide right side. Sauer wide on the left side. Step back. He's back at the 40 to throw. He is throwing deep into the end zone to Sauer. It is incomplete. Incomplete. Thomas with a beautiful move in the end zone. Batted it down. Emmett Thomas went way up in the air. Number 87, the defensive right side for Kansas City, hurt his leg. He's going out. Boss number 74 comes in. See Billy Mathis spot him at the sideline. Emerson Boozer is back in for New York. Now Chuck Kirsten, number 85, takes Cross's place. Third and 10 to go. Again, the big third down. And a lot of them this afternoon.
2 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the game. We're coming down to the wire.
Turner wide right, Starr wide left, Boozer and Snell the setback. Back goes Joe Namath, looking to his right side, throwing to Turner. It is no good. Almost intercepted. There's a flag down the line. There's a flag down. Jim Marcellus was covering. The flag is not near the coverage spot. Let's see what the call is. It looks like it might be against Kansas City. There's no change yet. Hold on. No change yet. We'll wait for the call. Kansas City is saying no change on the Jets lineup right now. Talking things over with the New York Jets. We have no indication yet. Marching it off against Kansas City. It's a big one. Moving the ball across the 15 and downing it around the 13-yard line. We've got just a second to go for the 2-minute warning. The ball is on officially the 14-yard line. First and 10 to New York. The Jets, first and 10 on the Kansas City 14. Namath looking deep, getting a rush, throwing into the end zone. It is incomplete. Incomplete.
It will be second down for the Jets with 10 yards to go. Remember that if this game ends in a tie, we'll have a sudden-death playoff period immediately following. That's what the Jets are counting on now. Get on the scoreboard with a touchdown, tie it up, and then go into that overtime if necessary. With a minute 55 to go. Everybody here, 62,977 fans on their feet as we come down to the closing seconds of the game. And again, here is Jim Gordon.
They are set now. Joe Namath calls the team set. it goes in motion to the left side. Namath is back looking to his right, now to his left, into the end zone. The ball is gone and incomplete at the 5. Incomplete at the 5. 50 seconds to go. 150. Third down, but 10 yards still to go for New York. 13-6 to score Kansas City. Joe Namath and the New York Jets facing the end of this whole long road here. Fowler and Center are both wide on the right side. Pete Lammons is wide on the left side. 2 setbacks from Namath, and now Boozer goes in motion to the left. Namath drops back. He's looking toward the end zone. Into the right corner it is. Intercepted in the end zone. Run down to the 5-yard line and downhill with 1 minute and 42 seconds to go. Jim Marsalis has the Jets on course their final attempt in this series of downs with 1:42 to go, and now they must get the ball, Ted. Jim Marsalis, the rookie, has made his second critical interception of the afternoon. Earlier, he intercepted one on the Chiefs' 10-yard line when the Jets had a good drive going. Namath had brought them down to about the 25-yard line of Kansas City, and he threw a pass down on the 10-yard line, intercepted by Jim Marsalis. This time he threw to the end zone and again. Marsalis got in front of the intended receiver and intercepted it, brought it out to the 7-yard line. He was nailed almost in his tracks, but the important thing is, from Kansas City's standpoint, that he intercepted the pass. The Chiefs have the ball first and 10 at their own 7 with 1 minute and 42 seconds playing time remaining in the game. Kansas City has taken a timeout here. They have 2 timeouts remaining, and the Jets have 3. I'm not sure if this is being charged to Kansas City or not. Actually, should recall they took a timeout when Mo Mormon got injured on a play a few moments ago. So possibly this timeout is not being charged. It's immaterial at the moment, actually, because the Chiefs have a 13-6 lead with 1 minute 42 to go. The ball at their own 7, first and 10. Okay, Jim. Jets still have 3 timeouts remaining to them. And in tough shape here, 13-6. They're running the ball on the ground. Garrett runs along the goal line. He's hit from behind, hit and dragged down inside the 5-yard line. The clock continues to run. Now the Jets are calling for time, and the clock stops at 1:33. Ted, 1 minute and 33 seconds to go. Where the Jets deep in Kansas City territory, but they don't have the ball. Paul Crane made that stop. Well, this is the only thing left for the Jets to do. Call time, save as much of the clock as they can, hoping that they'll be able to stop Kansas City's drive, possibly force a fumble in there deep in Kansas City territory. Deep in Jets territory, rather. Any number of things might happen. So they're doing all they can do here. Now the ball has been moved back to the 4-yard line with the loss of the play of 3 on the play. That'll be 2nd and 13. That's sort of academic at the moment. Kansas City really doesn't care how much they have to go, just so long as they maintain possession of the ball, with only a little over 1.5 minutes remaining on the clock. But the Jets, of course, as I said, they're trying to force a fumble here deep in Chiefs territory. Wendell Hayes has replaced Mike Garrett. Dawson again stays on the ground, of course, 1.5 minutes to go. Punches across the 5-yard line, picks up perhaps 2. And just 1 minute and 28 seconds as the New York Jets again call time. Again, we want to remind our listeners that Joe Hassel will be on the air from the Jets locker room right after the game, talking to the Jets, no matter which way it goes, discussing the game. So be sure and stay tuned for our locker room show with Joe Hassel right after the game. Right now, 1 minute and 28 to go. It's a little dark for the Jets at the moment. In fact, considerably dark at this point. But there's still those 88 seconds of playing time remaining on the clock. And now we have a 3rd down play for Kansas City. Means they'll have one more play. The Jets will definitely get the ball. The Kansas City will have one more play. Unless they can move it off well, ball's on the 7-yard line. There are 10 yards to go. Unless Kansas City can pick up those 10 yards right here, they'll have to clock. The Jets will have the ball again. We have received word from the press box here that New York does not have any timeouts remaining, although the clock shows 1. Now it has been changed to 0. will continue to run if they're able to hang on to the ball and run it on the ground. Dawson hands on. Ball goes to his left side, hit from behind, hit hard behind the line of scrimmage and slammed down. Now the team's changed, but remember the clock is continuing to run as Larry grabs him, got to Holmes and really put him down. 1 minute and 12 seconds, 1:11. There'll be 1:09 to go.
There'll be well under a minute playing time remaining when the punt actually gets off. Gerald Wilson will be kicking from the end zone. Right now there's a minute playing time remaining. Now it's under a minute. So the Jets will have time to run back the punt, and not an awful lot more. Whether they'll have time to get a play underway or not, we don't know as yet. 49 seconds to go right now. Wilson standing deep in the end zone, Jim.
Mike Battle is at the 45-yard line. The ball is up in the air, high, coming down around the 40-yard line. Battle drops the ball. Kansas City's got it. Mike Battle couldn't hold it. And Kansas City downs the ball short of midfield with the clock showing 36 seconds to go.
Another strange thing there, Jim, is, Mike Battle almost never signals for a fair catch. And, however, that time he did. And as he signaled for the fair catch, the ball came off his outstretched hand and was recovered instantly by Kansas City. So the Chiefs have the ball. The clock is running now. 27 seconds. They may get a playoff here, may not. I don't actually should get one off. But all they have to do is hang on to it. They got a 13-6 lead. Many of the fans are leaving the stadium now. All right, here comes Kansas City with the final play of the game, Jim.
12 seconds to go. And a long season about to come to an end with the New York Jets. Ball is close to the 40-yard line. 6 seconds, 5 to go. And it's going to be wait till next year. 2 seconds showing on the clock. 1. And the world champion New York Jets are out of the playoffs. The final score, Kansas City 13 and New York 6.
Well, that final score again was 13 for the Kansas City Chiefs, 6 for the New York Jets. Stay tuned for our post-game show and Joe Hassel's interviews from the Jets locker room. We'll have more Jets football in